much. And I've always told people, oh, I am behind on the start of the race, but Final Fantasy V, unlike a lot of other Final Fantasy games like 4 and 6, yeah, where kind of a lot of the bosses, you can just kind of face roll auto attack through them. I mean, there is some kind of gimmicks to things, but I'm sure Garlisle can attest here. Final Fantasy V is like boss puzzles all over the place.
Yeah, there is no single strategy in this game that will allow you to, by itself, defeat every single boss. Even the most powerful magic spells, there are boss fights in this game where you literally cannot use magic, for instance.
Yes, which his name would be Omniscient. There's quite a few bosses that if you know kind of the tricks to the logic gate for it, you can basically get the boss stuck in like a logic loop where they can't do anything. There's bosses that, like the Minotaur, who's the exact opposite of Omniscient, where you can't use any magic on him, but you can only use physical attacks. So hopefully we'll get to see a lot of that tonight, where they'll have to use different jobs and different abilities and just different items to really make sure they can handle all the bosses they're going to run into.
Yeah. But first, before we can start really taking on any sort of bosses, we need something actually powerful enough to contend with them. So our racers are going to be booking it around, trying not just to find useful items or abilities, but also various hints that'll help direct them towards where they need to go.
Yes, for sure. So one of the really, really big things that this randomizer does have, just because of how kind of Final Fantasy V is a rather large game, one of the things that they did add into this randomizer is kind of like a Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, or I'm sorry, like Zooter, they actually have a hint system that will tell you like different items that were like there is no keys of value at this kind of check, or this kind of check. One of the big ones you want to see what's called Path of the Void. Path of the Void means this will lead up to one of the go mode items we need for this randomizer. And Garlisle, why don't you go over kind of what our go mode items for this randomizer are?
Yeah. So there are 6 items that our players are going to need to find tonight. For the time being, they have free access to anywhere in the first 2 worlds of the game. But in order to access the 3rd world, they will need to find the anti-barrier key item to allow them to enter Exdeath's castle, the bracelet key item to reveal the true form of the castle and go upstairs, and then they will need to defeat Exdeath himself in his castle in order to unlock the 3rd world. After that, in order to progress through the void and face the final boss, they will need to have collected the 4 tablets. Now, with the race settings as they currently are, our players have actually all started out with their first tablet, so there's effectively 5 items that they will need to find in order to complete the game.
Yep, and we decided just to have people start off with 1 tablet, just for a few different reasons. The first is it does make, because without that first initial tablet, the randomizer is kind of a bit on the longer side. So one of the reasons why we added that tablet was for time's sake. The other reason is that it does give you 3 initial checks inside of the sealed castle, which is going to have some very, very high-tiered, high-level items in there that are available to our runners as well. So they'll definitely take advantage of that. So it speeds up the race in 2 different ways, actually.
Yeah.
And here we can see a lot of the runners going around doing their shopping, but also getting a lot of those hints. And on the link that I picked there, Big Bridge Studio, that is the group that does Career Day. They do have a wiki that is on there that has a lot of great information. And a current link to our Discord as well. And our Discord is filled with amazing people that are more than willing to answer any question you have. Trust me, I asked so many questions in there. I thought that people were going to get tired of me asking them, but they held my hand the entire way through.
Yeah, anybody who knows Final Fantasy V really well will also tell you there's been a period where they've been learning Final Fantasy V, and it's a lot to learn. But that also means that the mastery cap for this game and for the randomizer itself is fantastically high.
Yeah, if you're looking for a randomizer that not only is going to feel different each run, just like any other randomizer, but it's really going to stretch kind of your knowledge of the game, Final Fantasy V will definitely do that, because you're going to get... one of the biggest reasons is the job system, so we'll touch a little bit on that. So if you've never played Final Fantasy V before, that's okay. It never came over to America in English. You have to kind of either get the Game Boy, until Game Boy Advance, I should say. So you either have to get the Game Boy Advance version, and that wasn't as popular as like 4 and 6, or play a translated patch of it. But in this game, there is 22 different jobs that you'll find, and each of the different jobs has different abilities. But the randomizer takes that one step further, and basically you can find different abilities for different jobs in chests, in boss checks, and shops, as well as the actual job crystal that would normally give those abilities as well. So you might find the ever-powerful Samurai Guild Toss in a shop or in a chest somewhere, so you wouldn't even need the original Samurai job to get it. So that even more expounds upon like how many different ways you can build your party and kind of try to use different mechanics.
Yeah, and again, none of them are going to do it by themselves. Even if you get, Black Mage, you're still going to have to actually find black magic spells in order to make them powerful.
Yes. So we can kind of see like this is pretty standard start, I'm sure, for if you've seen any kind of JRPG randomizer of the initial hunt for good items, basically. And there is a few, even just like non-equipment items that I always tell people, especially if you're new, that as soon as you find them, you buy at least 10 of them. Things like softs, because there's a lot of bosses that cause petrify in this game. One of them being the big bad himself, X-Death, loves to cast a spell that petrifies people. There's the ever annoying Shoat. Shoat loves to petrify you. The other one you always want to look for is Maiden's Kisses, because there is quite a few bosses that will cause frog status. Tents, things like that are pretty common, but a lot of those status ailments are really, really bad in this game.
So what we've got here is Karma is headed over to the sealed castle and is taking a look at some of the stuff they can pick. For each tablet, you can take 3 items out of the sealed castle, and we see stuff like Time Magic 6, White Magic 6 is here. Like, there's generally going to be some really good stuff. Oh, Time Magic and Meteo are both here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to take those. And Running Shoes. He's going to take the Running Shoes. He's going to take Time Magic 6 and probably Meteo.
Yeah. They won't have enough MP to cast Meteo until they get a handful of... Oh, and there's Samurai, too.
Oh, man. He's actually... I'm wondering if he's out of, like, the fairness of the race, if he's not going to take the Samurai. Samurai is probably... Samurai right now is considered the toppest tier job probably in the game, just because of Guild Toss and its high evade is so powerful. I know a lot of runners just kind of out of... I don't want to say out of fairness, but just to kind of make it not as easy on themselves, won't even take Samurai for Guild, or just will say, I'm not going to use Guild Toss.
Yeah. Though Guild Toss also requires funding, and they may not necessarily have to spend, so he may just come back to it later, or they... Either way,
we did see Windfox find life too over there, and I believe that's Hyrule Plant, or the Hyrule Plant is.
Oh yeah, that's the Windrake Valley.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, so you can see a lot of the runners went to World 2 first and are doing all the World 2 checks, just to make sure that, just to kind of get, because obviously the game does use a tiering for the item system. So you're going to get higher tiered items in World 2 than you would in World 1. So it makes sense that they're checking all the kind of these World 2 checks before even going back to do some World 1 bosses. Nova, is there any plans to doing balance fixes to make it not Guild Toss wins? We've already kind of done as much as far as the coding that we can. Samurai job is a tier 9 job, so... Oh, Twitania just runs into and instantly wipes.
Oh. Yep.
That will happen. So hopefully he saved, and it looks like he did. But so we've already made it the highest tier, so you're very unlikely to find it outside of like the Sealed Castle or World 3. And also, we have made Guild Toss ability the highest tier that you can get it. But I don't think there's any way they can fix the code for how much damage the ability does. Final Fantasy V, much like a lot of the other Final Fantasy games, the coding is very, very sensitive to anything you kind of try to do to it.
Yeah, right now there aren't like really any balance changes. We've just made an effort to be like, hey, we'll keep the really crazy stuff high tier and unlikely to be found.
Yeah. So, I mean, they probably will still use, I mean, if this was, since this is a competitive race for them, they might both use. And here we're going to see Karma run into Twintania. And yeah, he's just going to reset out as well because he knows, yeah, there it goes.
One feature that was added for this randomizer, if you pause the game and hit a certain combinations of buttons, your entire party will be instantly petrified, so it's basically a soft reset.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is that exact coding that needs to be entered at the pause screen? Because I don't think I've actually figured that out for myself just yet. And if you
I
don't know
forget.
off the top of your
I
head,
have
it's
to
so big.
remember it every time I have to do it myself.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I did not know that was actually in the game. I would always just reset on my emulator, but that's funny. Yeah, I did not even know. There's so many things that I've been playing this and it's like, oh, I didn't know about that. Oh, I didn't know about that either. Oh, I didn't know that's how that interaction works. So you can just see like how much there is to learn in Final Fantasy V.
Yeah, even last week I was racing along in the background, and that made me discover that like if you X fight against Shoat, that causes him to counter petrify twice.
Yes. Yes, it does. I run into that too. That's why I absolutely hate Shoat as a boss, because you're just like, great. Alright, I don't have any Aegis Shields. I don't have any of this. Windfox checking his sealed castle as well. There's some other really good stuff in there. There's a Judgment Staff that's in there. Holy Lance, which... Excuse me, there's so much better stuff. He's probably not going to take the Holy Lance. But if that was one of the few things that's in there, we were talking actually just before we started streaming today, like, okay, what do you need to find to make Dragoon kind of good? Just because Dragoon is kind of one of the lower tier jobs, so he is he okay? Windfox is not picking up Samurai Crystal. It's always interesting to see different players' play styles, because some people really like certain jobs, some people don't like certain jobs, and with 22 different jobs, there's always something you can find.
I'm not really surprised to see Meteor grabbed here by both players. Again, while they won't have the MP to actually cast it for a few levels, especially with none of their jobs being casting jobs by default. I guess Magic would override. Anyway, Meteor does damage that is completely independent of the user's level or stats. One Meteor will be enough to take out a number of early game bosses.
Oh, for sure. And like Artemis said, they both took Shoes Time Magic 6, so you can see just how important haste running shoes are. Time Magic 6 is outside of maybe White 6, just because you're going to need that healer. Oh, and then we run into Odin. Yeah, we're not going to be able to take down Odin here. You can see just how powerful... Oh, maybe he's going to go for it? Oh, he has Break, but he doesn't have the Break Blade or a way to cast it just yet. But Time Magic is just so powerful in this randomizer.
Yeah, it's a very specific subset of spells that are powerful, but those spells are like... Meteor alone is not going to get you through the game. Unfortunately, it's actually a very poor ability for dealing with the final boss, but it'll help out so much getting them.
And then you've got things like Slow and Slow 2 are amazingly powerful. Haste and Haste 2 are very strong. The other big one you don't really think about is Float, because there is quite a few bosses that if you have Float on, it gets their AI kind of stuck, basically. But, so Float's normally another big one. That's mainly used for Catastrophe and for Titan. Or not Titan. Is it Titan? Yeah.
I don't think
Earthshaker.
But it does help you avoid that final attack that might just screw you up at the last moment.
Yeah, most of that time, that final Earthshaker by Titan is normally what you're worried about. Finding some good amount of money in the beginner's house there. And the other thing you'll notice, like, just how fast everybody runs in this game. So, you always start off with the Thief's sprint ability, even without having a Thief ability or in the party. And that's just huge. So, one of the things you actually have to learn when playing this game, you can see there, it's like, sometimes you're going so fast, it's actually a little bit harder to control.
Yeah, and of course, the airship is normally known for being very, very fast in this game. So there was an implemented fix for it where we can actually slow down the airship's movement, which, thank goodness.
Oh, yeah. So many times where you're like, I need to land in this very specific section, but I can't unless I slow down. Looks like Karma's picking up some Phoenix Downs there. Another crucial thing. You can see there he goes, buying some of those Maiden's Kisses. And yeah, looks like we found the Chemist job. So Chemist is considered kind of the second most powerful job there is. Second most powerful only because it does require you on finding specific items to make the mix ability so powerful. But it is another one of those jobs that is just insanely powerful.
Yeah, it is a very high skill cap because you do need to learn all these different combinations and stuff. But it is, again, there are some bosses in this game that it can't deal with, but it can deal with so many of them so well.
Yeah, it definitely is one, like you said, once you've memorized all the different mixes, oh man, it's a job that you have a tool for just about everything you'd ever need. But it has that learning curve if you have to memorize all of them. or have something pulled up, and if you're constantly pulling something up to look at the time, it slows you down. And it's not the highest HP job either, so there is some bosses that are just going to one-shot you before you can even really get too much off.
Not to mention, you need to know what consumables you need to be taking notes about where to get them in case, like, if you can't purchase enough of them to begin with, because you don't really want to make a trip back to town and be like, wait, this was the wrong place. Wasted time.
Yes, the number of times I forgot to write down where turtle shells are, because like Mastigo says, Drain Kiss, which is a turtle shell and a Maiden's Kiss, basically casts a high-level drain ability. But if only one, not all the time is a turtle shell out of store, and sometimes it only might be available at one very specific place. So, Moogle Waterway is on the Path of the Void, so we got our first Path of the Void hint. In this case, Moogle Waterway refers to the World 2 where you'd fight the T-Rex. But yeah, Chemist is definitely, it has to require a lot of memorization.
So, we do actually have some notes. There's more than just the Moogle Waterway that we know we've got to hit today.
Okay.
Apparently, Ball Castle, the Lanka Meteor, and the Barrier Tower have all been marked as on the Path to the Void.
Okay, so those are really good ones to find, too. To get that many Path of the Void hints that early on is really good. Karma picking up the Mystic Sword 1 ability. Not too great just yet. Mystic Sword, I'm trying to remember when you get Mystic Sword Break. That's the really important one there. And Mystic Sword Mute can also be important.
I think it requires the one that says it's level 5. There's a little bit of weirdness to it because Magic Knight has that first level isn't actually Magic Sword levels.
Yeah. But yeah, out of Magic Sword, the two big ones you want to get is Magic Sword Break and Magic Sword Mute are really, really powerful. There's some others that are usable from time to time. I've used Magic Sword Drain in a pinch, but...
Yep. And we do have, over on Karma's side, we do have the first boss fight, which is Liquid Flame. Don't think he's one of the scarier bosses to run into in this location, especially since it appears they have access to ice magic already.
Yeah, I wouldn't be, especially if you got Ice 2, I'd be super worried. Now, probably gonna make quick work of it, looks like, maybe. Just see how it looks like he's still doing some basic attacking, though. Meanwhile, Windfox still doing his item hunt, really kind of scouring every place before really starting on his kind of grinding and getting his levels up. Yeah, so there is a lot that is transferable if you've played Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. That gives you the stuff that you're used to looking for key items that unlock different checks. So you've already kind of got that. From there, it's really just kind of learning the different jobs and the different bosses. As someone who does race, I do race Free Enterprise, I do race this, and I do race Worlds Collide. Which is the Final Fantasy VI randomizer. There's a lot of stuff that you can carry over, surprisingly, from like JRPG randomizer to the next.
Yeah. Unfortunately, while Liquid Flame may have had very little HP in that location, Karma's damage was relatively low in that location too, and that's a problem with Liquid Flame because every time you hit it, it's going to counterattack you with something nasty.
Yep. And yeah, is he actually going to take some grinding here? He might grind maybe a level or two.
Yeah, there is a 4 times experience, gold, and ABP multiplier active in this randomizer. So any grinding they do decide to do will go fairly quick.
Yep. Most of the time you shouldn't have to do too much grinding in this outside of the bosses, but every once in a while it is good. And we do also have an encounter every single step turned on. So basically, every single time that Karma takes a step in the overworld or in the map, he is going to get a encounter. So it's not like you have to like run back and forth looking for encounters. This way you can just turn it on when you need it, take a step, get your encounter, and then as soon as you don't need it anymore, turn it off. It saves a lot of times for things like a really, really good grind spot is the Karnak Wolves. And instead of having to run back and forth looking for them, to just take a single step to be able to get that encounter every time really speeds things up. And he might be going for mix. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's very true too. Is like get that, and they have access to some tools that'll finish these bosses off quick.
Now I don't think, Garlow, we saw turtle shells yet, though.
Actually, no, I don't think we have. You're right.
Turtle shell is kind of the big one because I mean, like as far as damage dealing abilities, it's Drain Kiss from Turtle Shell, and of course everybody kind of knows about the dark matter ability. I always forget what the actual mix is called, but that does a lot of damage. But the problem with that, though, is that you're not going to find a lot of dark matters, and they're normally expensive. And in this randomizer, gil is pretty tight. So you don't have a lot of gil to normally spend to be buying and selling just a whole bunch of stuff.
When you find the actual good stuff in this game, it's going to make you pay for that good stuff.
Shadow Flare, that's what it is. Thank you, Lord Nanfoodle. Yeah, finding two dark matters ain't gonna be that common.
Both of them are attempting to take this down now.
It looks like Windfox does. It looks like he has got the Knight job and possibly the Ninja job as well as with this Chemist.
Yeah, that's what that looks like, and that was definitely dual wielding going on.
Yep, so yeah, Ninja, another very, very powerful job in this randomizer. To kind of go over the jobs that you really always want to keep your eyes out for. Obviously the Chemist, obviously Samurai. Ninja is really high up there for its throwables early on, is very powerful. Knight can be very good, just as a kind of a meat shield because he does get cover.
Yeah, and so much equipment access on Knight, and
yes.
double grip too, deal damage.
What are some of the other really good jobs? Like I said, I'm always a fan of Berserker. I know some people really don't like Berserker. I'm a fan of it. Sometimes they can just put out surprisingly large amounts of damage when you need them to.
Pretty much all of the casters have great utility. Obviously, like we talked about the Time Mage already, White Mage is your healing, but also has some really solid single target damage potential if you happen to get Holy. And we do have the Summoner as well, which is one of the best bosses for endgame, as well as certain bosses that you really, really want to deal group damage to at a time.
Yeah, Blue Mage, Artemis, like in the chat said, Blue Mage is very, very powerful. A, if you can find it, because I never have the good luck of finding it. And B, really, it's kind of like the same possibility with Chemist. You really have to know what all of your different blue magic abilities are. Now, you can buy blue magic abilities in shops. You will find them there, and in chests. But you also, I believe, even if you don't have the Blue Mage job, I think you learn the ability still. There's something we changed about it, so it's easier to learn Blue Mage jobs, even if you don't have Blue Mage job equipped, I believe.
Yeah, similar to how Passages is always on and Dash is always on, learning is also always active on your characters, regardless of their job in this game.
But yeah, so you can really pick up some of the high level Blue Magic abilities. So yeah, Blue Mage can be very, very powerful if you know how to use it right.
Yep. Oh, and here we've got Karma breaking out the Medio against Odin.
Yep, Odin, one of those ones, I forget. Okay. He gets it fairly easy, and you can just see how powerful Odin is there. Gets the Steamship Key as a reward for that. Meanwhile, Windfox over here taking on a Panda, who can be a pain in the butt sometimes.
Yeah, that drain counterattack just this early on can actually be really nasty if you can't just one-shot.
Yeah, so there is, so if you do start running this game coming from the GBA version first, there is some jobs in GBA that are not available in the original, so no Cannoneer, no Necromancer, I forget what the other two...
Oracle and Gladiator.
Oracle and Gladiator. Okay, so none of them are going to show up here. And some of the items are named a little bit differently. I do think they were working on possibly changing some of the names. Like, for the longest time, Excalibur in this one, and the fake Excalibur, or Excalibur as it's normally known as, the only difference between them was the eye was in the wrong spot. And a lot of people got tripped up on that, but I do know we were changing that to say Excalibur, so it's a lot easier to identify. Okay, that's what that is.
And that's pretty much a simultaneous kill there.
Yeah, the Excalibur is the best localization. Yeah, but it's like when you're, especially when you're racing, and you just pick it up, and you're like, oh, and it's like, you're picking it like perfect, and you're like, oh, wait, I spent all my money, and because I've done that before, I spent a lot of money seeing it in the shop, not realizing that the eye was in the wrong spot the first time, and I was just like, oh, this stinks now. Now I'm in a really, really bad spot, and I should have known better, knowing that the actual Excalibur is not going to be in the shop, but...
I mean, sometimes you're lucky and it is, but most of the time.
Karma going to the ship graveyard.
Unfortunately, the reward for that boss was just a strength suit. It's not guaranteed that our runners will receive a key item from any boss they defeat. There is a chance to just get like a high level ability or piece of armor or something instead. That's part of why the hint system is actually so important, that our racers were spending a bunch of time early figuring it out.
Yeah, and it's not too uncommon that you'll see kind of a lot of runners, even if they know, hey, some of these in World 1 aren't on the path to the void, for them to do them. Just because early on it's a really easy way to get a lot of that experience that you're going to need, but later on in like Worlds 2 and 3, you're like, all right, well, I know this isn't on the path to the void to the end game, so I'm just going to kind of overlook it because I don't need to sink that time into possibly a very, very bad encounter that could be waiting.
Yeah. While there's a lot of ways to handle different bosses in this game without knowing that you have access to certain tools, our runners are probably going to need to be about level 40 or so by the end of the game, even if they were to immediately find all the items that they need to go straight to the end. So,
yep. And one of the things you'll realize about this randomizer, and that a lot of people don't think about, Neo X-Death and X-Death and in the Void is not an easy in-game boss to go into. He is a real monster at times, so I think he's possibly right up there with like Kefka from Final Fantasy VI, but I think he spanks Zeromus's butt as far as difficulty goes as a boss.
Yeah, not that Zeromus doesn't have his little like tricks in Miniate to get better at him,
Yeah.
but for the most part, you just need to be a certain level of power so he doesn't kill you. Neo X-Death, there is abilities is literally capable of just like party, berserk, zombie, death, anything at once. And if it so much as decides to roll that way, your run is over.
Or even just like his initial ability was when he's still in tree form, or his Ted as we like to call him. Just white hole. If you get the wrong person white holed at the wrong spot, it instantly kills them and petrifies them. So you're using 2 turns to revive that person and use a soft on them.
Yeah, it is. I tend to think of him as honestly one of the most potentially brutal final bosses in the series.
I definitely agree too. Like chat said, Ned does not mess around. Almaguest is one of the reasons I lose to that. I lose to that all the time. Almaguest is one of the reasons why you start looking for like Shoat to possibly try to instantly kill it, and other things to not have to deal with that.
Yeah, Breakblade. If you can get lucky and you can find the blue magic spell Mighty Guard, then at least you can put down the damage on your party to about half of what it's supposed to be. Otherwise, that is a really, really nasty thing as well.
Same with Shell. Shell's another white magic ability you're always looking for because it kind of really help with Almaguest as well. But yeah, we'll see when we get to X-Death. He doesn't mess around. Windfox finding Shiva. This early on, this fight should be fairly easy, especially with Medio. He should have no trouble. Getting all the hits, I was going to say all the hits onto Shiva. That's surprising.
Yeah, Shiva's the one who's the most dangerous in this fight generally anyway, due to multi-target magic. So with her out of the way, it shouldn't be an issue to finish this.
Yeah, so Dot Warner does bring up a good thing. 4-Job Fiesta. So that actually is on the... I did like the Big Bridge Studio website. That is where you can go to generate the career day seats. They actually do have a 4-job mode in this game and as a randomizer as well. So if you ever are doing the 4-job Fiesta during that time of year and you just kind of want to add an extra little layer onto it, you can do a randomizer 4-job Fiesta as well. And you can actually choose which 4 jobs on that site. So it will just give you those and you don't have to worry about like accidentally selecting wrong things like that. So. But I do know 4-Job Fiesta does give a lot of runners of this. Kind of really helps you build your knowledge on this as well, because then you really think about after what you're doing. Karma's looking at Titan there, and I don't know if he's going to... Yeah, I think he's probably going to have to get out of there. I don't think he has enough to be able to take down the Earthshaker ability just right there.
Yeah, Earthshaker does somewhere in the realm of like 300 to 500 damage, so not quite high enough level to just eat that at the moment.
Nope, so it looks like he's going to go check Walsh, and then he's going to probably go check Walsh Castle to see what is in the Esper location as well, and the Shiva location, I mean.
Oh, and there's our anti-barrier.
So that is one of the key items that we need. So we now just need 3 tablets and the bracelet to be able to get to the Void. So let's touch a little bit on that. So technically, the 4 tablets are the true Go mode items because you need those to get through the Void. But what like Garlow said earlier, in order to get to World 3, we have to go fight Exdeath in his castle. They say that North Mountain holds the second tablet, so Windfox does know where one of his second tablets is. So that's good. But in order to get to Exdeath's castle in World 2, you have to have the anti-barrier key item that was added to the game, and the bracelet key item. So that's why we include those two items as go mode items, because you do technically need them to even get to the Void.
Yeah, we do know what's waiting for them. Oh no, wait, I was thinking North or Dragon Valley here, but Windfox is headed straight off to North Mountain, knowing that there's the tablet there.
Mm-hmm.
It's also should be a fairly easy check, but there is the chance that the actual location of the tablet is in Bahamut's spot, in which case they're not going to be able to get there for quite a while.
Yeah, Bahamut does require you to find the Mirage Radar so that you can get to Mirage in World 3 and get the Black Chocobo there to go take on Bahamut. You really hope it's this check, A, because like you said, the boss is going to be easier here, and B, it doesn't require an extra key item, just because the Bahamut fight, regardless of who is there, is normally not the easiest fight. Looks like we got Adatimi there. He should go down fairly easy with Medio. Like one shot easy.
Yeah, I think the boss in that location is supposed to have about 800 HP.
Mm-hmm. He was doing 1,000 with a single hit. Sandworm bait, so it's like what you said. They're gonna have to go take on Bahamut to get that tablet.
Yeah, that is one of the scariest high HP locations in the game to have a check. So that's something to look forward to tonight.
Meanwhile, Karma is running into the person you do not want to see, unless you have a whole bunch of softs, and even then, you still don't want to see them.
Oh, yeah, and that's with monks too, where I'm pretty sure that double check's going to cause the double counter, and his counter is petrified.
Yep. Shote is not friendly at all, and I swear every single Final Fantasy game I've ever played knows when you Phoenix down somebody, because the second you Phoenix down them, the boss instantly attacks that person again. See? Just tried to do it again. He's hopefully okay. He does have softs.
Lots of bosses in this game seem to be just fast enough, too.
For sure. Here we're going to see Windfox. He is going to actually dive into the Ancient Library to go do the Ifrit check.
Yeah, there is actually 2 potential checks within the Ancient Library, but in order to access the second one, you would require the Ifrit's Fire key item. So taking a dive into here this early right now is a little bit of a risk because they may end up having to come back later, but also it's still a fairly easy location.
Now we do see Karma getting the Wind Spear, so not even rewarded too much, but for killing Shote, he does get the Shote summon though. And if he finds a summon ability, Shote is surprisingly good, because, you know, most developers don't expect for randomizers to be ever made in the future, and don't expect for you to be having an ability that petrifies bosses early on. So some early level bosses don't have the ability to not be petrified, so you can just petrify them. Some other bosses, some other really good espers to find are Odin, because Odin has the ability to possibly one-shot something with his True Edge ability. And Garlau, you and I both know how many bosses can just be one-shot.
Yeah, it's wonderful. But over on Windfox's side, that Ancient Library trip did pay off. That was the bracelet after that boss fight.
Oh, wow. So he has everything he needs to get into World 3 now.
Yeah, aside from the fact that he's going to have to climb his way up the castle and fight Exdeath. And that is not a pushover easy either. Medio will help, because Medio is certainly damage enough, but he's going to be taking a lot of damage in return if he tries to do it right now.
Yes, just because he's not going to probably be able to push Exdeath past his, like, go crazy with magic abilities stage too quickly. And Exdeath likes to do that. He gets 2 actions per turn eventually, and then he starts just casting ice, high level magic. He starts hitting like a truck. Exdeath doesn't play around. Yeah, that's one of the things we've said so much about the Final Fantasy V randomizer, is that it is a puzzle game with a JRPG built around it. Because there's so many bosses where you're like, okay, what is the puzzle that makes this job or this boss doable with what I have right now? And we run into Go-Go for Windfox, so sit your controller down, go to the bathroom, go get a snack, because he is a mime, and if he is mimicking you and you do nothing, well, you sit there for a while, and eventually one of you gives up.
Yeah. As goofy as it is, it's wonderful to actually have the occasional just, oh, I got to go take a break during the middle of this run.
Yes, now I have to say, there's been more than one time where I like my berserkers. I'll have a berserker on there, and then I'll run into Go-Go, and be like, oh, I can just put the controller down. And then I see Bartz just pick up his axe and hit Go-Go, and I'm like, no. Because Go-Go is very scary.
If he's in a low enough HP spot, and like technically I think they could pull it off in this spot, actually, if we're willing to, you can try to kill Go-Go.
Yes.
And if you do that, you don't have to wait for him. But on the other hand, if you try and fail, he will immediately start blasting you with meteos and flares and all that kind of stuff, and you will get dunked on.
Yes. Yeah, I've run into a Go-Go, yeah, it was a Go-Go, I think, at like a high-level spot, somewhere on World 3, like on my rush to Path of the Void. And I forgot that I had Berserker on there, and he hit him. I was like, well, this fight's not getting won. So I just reset out. I had to go back and be like, all right, Butts, you're losing your Berserker status for right now.
Yeah, so we do have Karma making the trip into the steamship using that key that was earlier. This leads not just through this place and its various checks, but also to the infamous Karnak Dash.
Yep, or he'll get a lot of chest, item chests out of there.
Generally fairly high value ones too, which is really nice.
Yep. And meanwhile, Windfox still staring down Go-Go. Alright, so let's see who is waiting for us inside of the steamship.
Choosing to skip a few of the optional chests, which isn't super a surprise. At this point, if you've got, it's probably not that high of a likelihood of anything super good being in this location, at least.
I'll be honest, I get lost enough in this steamship that I've memorized the one way through it as fast as possible. I'm just like, it's not worth finding these other chests. I get so confused on the elevators and everything. I'm just like, we're just going to do this. Okay,
that's fair enough.
Yep, Karma, you got to be on that platform when you flip that switch. And hey, look, Windfox gets Go-Go down with no issues. Didn't even take a single point of damage. Here we got Biblos, so we're seeing both sides of the Biblos Panda fight.
I think Windfox actually did get up and go grab a drink, because there they are.
That's funny. I was wondering, I was like, the fight's done, he's just kind of sitting there.
Unfortunately, just a stealth rope for all that time.
Oh, that hurts. You hate to see that.
On the other hand, it is also 200 ability points, so...
What is he checking in here? Oh, I did not even know this was here.
Yep.
See,
this is normally where you do extra job crystals.
Oh, that's right. The Final Fantasy V story is, compared to 4 and 6, is pretty lighthearted. Yes, it has some serious moments to it, but it's nothing that you're really going to be like, man, that hit me hard in the feels. Like, there's the point where, where you go to get that black chocobo, and you're like, wait, you're trying to tell me this chocobo swallowed 2 job crystals and then just flew away from somewhere?
Yep.
Yeah, you're just like, okay, makes perfect sense, why not?
The good news is, thanks to having Dash and generally being fairly powerful at this point, Karma shouldn't really be in any danger during this run. So we'll get to see a whole lot of looting. Still a few monster in a boxes, but...
Yeah. But he is... While the house... the best example I give to this is the same example if you've played Final Fantasy VI, where the lady's saying, help, help, my child is trapped inside the burning house. And while you go in there, you just rob these people blind. Basically the same thing that's happening here. Help, help, our castle's on fire. Yeah, I'll help you, but I'm going to take everything that's in there with me.
Oh, Dot Warner does bring up a good question. The Karnak escape music is randomized in this randomizer, just for fun.
Yeah. I believe a lot of the music is randomized as well. It just so happens... It just so happens that this is probably the best kind of random like music you can imagine for a castle on fire. There's this kind of like circusy sounding music. Is it possible for Go-Go to be allowed as a boss at this castle escape? I believe so. Yes.
Yes. There was, for a while in this randomizer, we did have one like timed boss fight, which was the Odin location, and that ended up causing a significant amount of issues where the time limit was just, some bosses really, 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 really did not play well with that time limit.
Yeah.
So that's gone. But I've never heard anything about any of the bosses being restricted out of Karnak, because you do technically have like up to 9 minutes to get there.
Yep, and Go-Go, I forget the exact time for how long Go-Go takes, but it's not 9 minutes. It would be one of those things that you're like, okay, if I have to do it, I guess I'm giving up the treasure that's in there to beat it, but the chances of it are pretty nice. Alright, so picked up a chicken knife. I did not see who picked it up, though.
I think that was Karma in one of the chests.
Yeah, great find. I mean, chicken knife, regardless if you can find the X-Fight ability to abuse it to stop you from running away, or sword stance on a dancer, or just a dance job, or dance ability makes it really, really good.
Even just Mug, really.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I've even just used it to normally attack in a boss fight. You're like, okay, yeah, it doesn't swing every turn, but on the turns where it does swing, it just hits so much harder than probably anything else I'd have right here. Yeah, and see, like, Omniscient at Odin spot, that's kind of another reason why we took away the timer there, just because you're like, well, there's not much you can really do.
And we're
Omniscient, definitely one of my least favorite bosses in this game. I'm starting to feel like Stalker is truly my least favorite, because there's no easy way to deal with him, but...
Yeah, we do have Archaeoavis at the end of the Karnak escape, who's going to take a moment just due to his phase changes pausing things and all that, but not anything dangerous.
Yeah, no, he should make quick work of this. I'm surprised to see he does still have Galuf on Monk, while he has everybody else on the Knight. Maybe he just doesn't have enough good equipment, so he's making use of it, or maybe does he have a Kaiser Knuckle?
I think I did see a Kaiser Knuckle show up during that, which a Kaiser Knuckle is effectively plus 25 levels for a monk in terms of the damage they deal, which is pretty significant.
Yeah, Kaiser Knuckle is one of the few reasons why you would keep a monk around. Monk is kind of like... Monk is great in the vanilla game for really early on, because if you don't have enough gold to buy really, really good weapons, Brawl makes everybody do solid damage without weapons. But in this, you're normally going to have good enough equipment or have found better jobs and things like that, that Monk just kind of gets put to the wayside pretty quickly normally. And just a stealth robe for that, but you got other good stuff out of there.
Yeah, picking up like that chicken knife and stuff in there is almost certainly going to be useful.
Oh, for sure.
Windfox finding I think that was the submarine key at the top of the tower?
Yes. I did see someone grabbed a submarine key from there. Time Mage crystal for Windfox, and slow too.
Yeah. That submarine key is actually important as well, because we do know they need to go to the barrier tower at some point, and the submarine key is the only way in.
Yep. Like I said, Windfox did find a gun gear. That's not super important, but he finds slow too, and he finds the Time Mage. And we've talked so much about how important that Time Mage ability is. Now, granted, he already picked up Time 6, so it's not super imperative, but at least it is a way to kind of get some good mana, get a job mastered, and there's some other reasons why you'd actually want a Time Mage on the team, just because then he's going to innately have Time 6 and then can have another ability.
Slow is particularly valuable in this game because there's extremely few bosses in this game who are actually resistant to slow, and cutting down the enemy's turns by about half is going to just, for anything that's actually dangerous enough and isn't just going to die to Meteo, it's going to make a big difference.
Here we see, let's see if Windfox is high enough, has enough HP to live through, and he does on the Knight to live through that Earthshaker of Titan. And Galuf barely survives as well as a ninja, which is surprising. Oh, Karma does have the Dancer ability well, so he now has Dancer with a chicken knife. The only other thing he needs now is a tiara or a rainbow robe to really... But there's the Stalkers I was talking about. These guys stink.
Oh, no.
Oh, did he just one-shot it, though, with that sword stance on the right target? Oh, maybe he did.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it, just because... This is the Sol Cannon spot. This is a fairly high HP location.
Yeah, I was hoping. I was going to be so happy if he actually just one-shot it with the sword stance. It's going to be like, alright, get there.
Oh, that's haste 2 as well that was picked up somewhere along the way.
So he is... You can already see, Karma's already got a very, very strong team starting off. So yes, Soul Cannon does have, like 11 HP to Dot Warner. So yeah, technically I think you only need one of the pieces to increase the chance of Sword Dance. I do believe Rainbow Robe increases it up, but here you can see why I hate... Alright, he gets the second one off on it. But here you can see why I hate the Stalker. Because you can't use AoE spells to get him down. And then you can't use... And X-Fight's really bad at this, so you just randomly have to just randomly get lucky on your attack. And it eats up so much time.
How many sword dances is Karma gonna roll?
The man's on a... He's on a roll, like you said. Does he maybe have a rainbow robe or a tiara or something on him to really up the chance?
That could be the case.
There was our first jitterbug. But yeah, I haven't seen a mystery waltz. There's another sword dance, but leave it to Stalker to just avoid it. Think you saw a rainbow robe somewhere? Okay. Yeah, rainbow robe. I would rather have a rainbow robe because then I can also use a ribbon. Cast haste 2 on the Stalker, so then they all cast Blaze. What a cheat.
Oh.
What a cheater you are, Stalker. Meanwhile, Windfox running into shoot down there. I think you just reset out at this point. Like, you can't get out of the charm. They're just going to keep casting Blaze.
Stalker was Son of Sun before there was Son of Sun. Yeah, same deal, same kind of just absolutely nonsense fight. And yeah, Karma opts to just be like, you know what? No.
Yeah.
Let's step.
Because you can keep saying he's going to keep casting Haste 2. So they'll never attack. They're just going to keep using Blaze over and over on her. And she can't die to the Blaze. That's a rough go of it.
Yeah, Stalker at any high HP location is one of the nightmare spots. I mean, technically this isn't one of the highest HP locations, but it's enough that it's going to be a pain.
Yeah. Ideally, you want to find Stalker someplace you can pretty much one-shot him.
Really, you don't want to find them at all.
Yeah, the best case scenario is you never have to see them.
Yes, Hawks, there is added to this randomizer, there's essentially a soft reset code. You just pause the game, hit, I think it's start select LR and then unpause, and your entire party will be petrified and game over.
See, I don't even mind. Like, Soul Cannon, yeah, he can be kind of grumpy, but he's not the worst thing possible. He's not, like, in my book, Stalker is truly the highest level of, wow, this is the last boss I ever want to see. And he just one-shots the Dancer.
Yeah, we're still at a low enough level that Mind Blast is also very dangerous.
Yep. And now you can see he's trying to get some high potions to get everybody up. He really needs basically Ferris to get really lucky with their sword stance and get it like 3 times straight and be just out of there. Meanwhile, Windfox did just get done. He is going back to World 2. Let's see where he is headed off to. Looks like he is going to go to the Moogle Waterway.
Yeah, they do know that that's required, so...
He's going to go scare that little Moogle from the wrong side. And let's see who is... Necrophobia is a bad boss, yes, but like... He's bad for a different reason. He's very powerful. It's not like he just has a gimmick that just eats up time, like we're seeing here. Let's see who's waiting for us at the T-Rex spot. And we can see if it's going to straight up be a tablet or...
Lands another sword dance, and Stalker's done for.
There we go. I'm glad to see this sword dance just coming out and destroying them. Siren is at the T-Rex spot, so should be still fairly easy. He does have Meteos to really kind of put out the damage, but T-Rex spot does have a fair bit of HP. I guess we're just gonna cast Meteo over and over again, though. Hopefully that will make quick work of her. Yep, it makes really quick work of her. Just shows you the power of Meteo.
Yeah, just because Meteo is completely independent of like level and gear and everything, it's going to do a lot. Oh, and that was the Mirage radar as well as a reward for going down the waterway. So that'll take us to the North Mountain to Bahamut's spot later on in World 3 to get that tablet.
Yep, I was going to say, so that is one of the things. You will have hints that straight up say the tablet is here, but you'll also have to, like, Path of the Void doesn't mean, like, that check holds the tablet. It can mean, hey, what you get from here, this key item chain that it takes you on will eventually lead you to a tablet. So if you see Path of the Void is like North Mountain, just don't think, hey, that means there's going to be a tablet there. It could be another key item that leads you to a key item that'll eventually lead you to a tablet.
Yeah. The other good part about radar, though, is that it does get you into Mirage, which is going to have multiple hints in case you're still missing something. And it's also going to have a bunch of shops that are going to sell a lot of really good stuff.
Yes. There's really not a good comparison in any of the other Final Fantasy randomizers to what Mirage Radar is. It is just kind of a highest level shop. But we also do have the Moogle suit, which is kind of like our armory, where there's a couple of extremely high tiered chests in it. But yeah, finding the Mirage Radar is always a good find. It just so happens this time it's actually required as well.
Yeah, they might be doing really well right now with like Sword Dance and Meteo and stuff, but that's primarily single target damage. And they may be planning on just guild tossing their way through Neo X Death, but as they approach Neo X Death, they are going to have to consider how they're going to deal with that.
Yeah. So yeah, the Moogle suit is like the armory in Free Enterprise, but it's a hard comparison to say that Mirage is like the armory, just because it's not infinite number, but it's shops that have high level stuff, so you can buy multiples of it too, which makes it, like, if you find Aegis Shields in there, you're just, well, I'm pretty much buying 2 to 3 Aegis Shields, because they prevent paralyze, or prevent petrification, things like that. So you'll find ribbons in there, and you're like, yeah, I'll buy 3 ribbons.
All the way into that Wonka runes, and unfortunately just an Eevee for the trouble.
Yep. Yeah, the sword dance, you can definitely tell he must have a rainbow robe or something on there to up his sword dance chance. Now, do the items compound? So if you have a tiara, red shoes, and their rainbow robe, are you basically guaranteed to get a sword dance every turn, or is it up to a certain amount?
So what is actually happening is that it is replacing, if you would do Tempting Tango, it does the Sword Dance instead if you have any of those pieces, so they do not stack.
Okay, so you really only just need the one of them. Looks like Windfox is going to get some grinding in on the red dragons that are, I'm guessing he is in Barrier Tower.
Yes, he is. That would be one of the trap chests that's up there. The fight's a little bit tricky. As you can see, the damage it does is non-trivial, but it is a decent chunk of experience. And trap chests with monsters in this, in order to incentivize them, have generally got fairly good equipment.
So let's see what's going to get out of there. A Giant's Axe. Giant's Axe is pretty good, too. Now, he does not have a Berserker to use it, and if without a Berserker, you're probably not going to ever use the Equip Swords and Axes ability. Or, I'm sorry, equip the Axes and Hammers ability. But it's not a bad piece of equipment. He'll probably just end up vendoring it, though.
Yeah, there's one other thing that sets Final Fantasy V apart in terms of its job system is most of the equipment in this game really does only work on like one, maybe 2 specific jobs at a time. So even if you find, say, a high-level sword like the Excalibur, you're going to need equipped swords or a knight to go with it in order to actually use it.
Yep, the only one that kind of breaks that is like daggers, but even then there's like not too many high attacking daggers that you're super excited to find outside of the chicken blade. But you normally need very certain setups, or specific setups, to make the chicken dagger work, so. Yes, so the Samurai Job Crystal, we do know where it is. Karma's going to now take on his Go-Go Fight, so he's probably going to go grab a drink of water as well. But we do know the Samurai Crystal is in the sealed castle. It'll be interesting to see if one of them is just like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna go and grab it, or if they both kind of have like this kind of like the runner's pride that we'll sometimes see where they're like, no, I don't want to go in and grab it because it just makes it too easy.
On the other hand, though, they haven't really seen a whole lot, at least yet, that would be a good replacement for Gil Toss if they end up needing AoE damage. Which
did Karma just one-shot poor Gogo with the sword stance?
Yep.
Oh, that's too good. Windfox taking on the Antlion at the top of Barrier Tower. This should be another... He's getting some really, really good rolls with his Meteos, too. So that should be fairly quick and easy to kill him off.
Yeah, Antlion isn't a particularly dangerous boss. The usual nightmare of Antlion is Sonic Wave, which drastically reduces the damage you do. But again, Meteo don't care.
Yeah, Meteo is RNG.spell, basically. Yep, here you can see he's just basically got everybody casting Meteo. He's kind of identified that's his easiest way through most of these bosses now. And how about another round of Meteos?
Yeah, unfortunately, the Atomos location does actually have a hefty chunk of HPs.
Nope, but there it goes. Fourth tablet. So he knows where his second tablet is. He has his first, and he just got his fourth. So he just needs one more tablet. He needs to find the third tablet. Meanwhile, Galura, and I don't know where he is, but he is just going to Break Blade to instantly kill him. But if you don't have Break Blade, Galura can actually be pretty nasty. He's kind of like the crystals, where he hits like a freight train.
Yeah, most importantly, he also counters like pretty much every time he gets hit, and later into the fight starts countering repeatedly every time he gets hit. So there's some bosses that can show up out of nowhere and unexpectedly ruin your day if they show up in a high HP location.
Like crystals at like a high level location, they are very fast and they hit very hard. They don't do a lot, they don't do any magic damage, but you need like the image ability or the image spell, something to really help prevent a lot of that physical damage they put out. Looks like Karma, is he going to... This isn't Barrier Tower, where is this?
This is the Waltz Tower.
The Waltz Tower, okay.
Turned out pretty well.
Yeah, all these towers look the same. Not probably gonna find too much in here. I forget what I know we've already seen Waltz Tower, but I forget what was in there waiting for him.
I want to say this was where the bracelet was. And then there was something good in the crystal room afterwards, too. But yeah, Windfox, meanwhile, is back to the Valley of the Dragons to pick up some revenge against Twintania from the start of the area.
Yep. Should make quick work of it now with the Meteo, so... Submarine Key is what was here waiting for us at the tower.
Yeah. Which lets them get into the Barrier Tower.
Yep. Alright, let's see. I don't know how much HP... I'm always really bad at knowing how much HP is at each boss, but Twintania is not bad to find here. I think he should make fairly quick work of it.
Yeah, still capable of some scary spells, though, as we're seeing.
Yeah, you can still cast Flare on ya. Now, I don't know... I don't think Windfox has Break Blade, and he's probably not going to wait for him to start charging up his Giga Flare to make him break vulnerable. I think he's just going to try to Meteo kill him down fast.
It isn't a huge HP location,
No.
So that's a more reasonable suggestion than normal against Twintania.
Yeah, because at this location you're expected to find the Hiryu plant, and because you have all those little mini plants, they didn't give the main Hiryu plant a lot of HP, so... Yep, there, nice and quick. Meanwhile, I do know Karma does have the Break Blade, so he's got a lot of... he does have a way to kill the Almaguest section of Neo-X Death.
That is by far the easiest way to deal with it. You can petrify it with other spells like Break or Shout, but between the magic evasion and the boss's really high base level, it ends up being worth like a 5 to 10% chance of success. Realistically, it is difficult.
Yeah, getting this showed off is you've got like every person casting it, and you're like, oh, it only took 2 rounds of 4 people casting it for it to finally land. So Windfox going back to his castle to pick up some more stuff. So let's see what he grabs. Probably
I completely forgot it was there.
Well, as a surprise, I thought he would pick up the Judgment Staff, but I don't know if there's really too much else he's going to want to grab. Probably the White 6 ability, yeah. Because he does have Life 2. I don't know if he's found Cure or anything yet. Genji Helmet he might pick up. Is he going to pick up the Samurai job? You can see he's thinking about it. Yeah, he's going to grab Samurai. Oh, Freelancer. I did not see the Freelancer job was in there. Freelancer is huge to find in there.
Freelancer, if you've only played FF5 casually, you probably didn't realize just how powerful Freelancer actually is. While its stats aren't much to write home about, they quickly become fixed if you have mastered any of the other jobs. And they have the ability to equip 2 different abilities of your choice, which can lead to some combos that pretty much nothing else can do. Plus, they have access to every piece of equipment in the game, which lets you use just your absolute best options for whatever you're using them for.
Oh, and by the way, you also get all the passive abilities have. So hey, did you master Ninja? Cool, well now you can dual wield without having to use the dual wield ability slot. Did you master the ability to equip axes and all this? Cool, you can do all that. Yeah, Freelancer just gets absurd really quickly. Especially if you've mastered 1 or 2 jobs to get all those stat bonuses too. So you can see, I like the name, IB Butts. That is priceless.
Yeah, Mime also has multiple ability slots. But I don't think it has the passive inheritance, and it does not have the equipment access. It's limited to magic-based equipment. So Mime tends to be used more for endgame magic setups if you've set up a whole lot of... if you've picked up X magic and summon and stuff, it's the easiest way to use those in tandem.
Yep. But yeah, just for everybody who doesn't know, I always tell people, because I always love this, in the original translation, his name is not Bartz. It is Butts. And I will always leave it as Butts. We see, Karma's going to take on some more of those dragon chests in the barrier tower to get that experience and those items that are in there, waiting for him. Yeah, so Mime does have 3 slots, but the problem is most of the time you're like, okay, I've also got to use one of those slots normally for, items, and yeah, technically it's Basu, but you know what? That's not as funny as Butts, so we're leaving it as Butts.
Speaking of kind of funny, Windfox over here has run into Exdeath's castle and headed to the basement, and found the Golem Fight, which has been flagged down as a boss fight for this randomizer. If you actually complete this fight responsibly by saving Golem, they will receive the Golem item to allow them to learn the Golem summon, which is, if they happen to find access to summons by the end of the seed, which I don't think we've seen at all yet, Golem is an extremely valuable summon to have.
He is. That's probably it's probably the best, I would say, because it's used in so many different spots, outside of maybe, I guess if you want to consider Odin, because of how many bosses it kills, but you'll use Golem pretty much every fight, every boss fight if you have it, kind of thing.
Yeah, Golem, for those who are unfamiliar or never quite fully understood what it does, it essentially just straight up absorbs a huge chunk of physical damage coming at your party.
Yep. And there's a lot of abilities that you don't think would be a physical ability that get blocked by. Like, for example, Vacuum Wave from Exdeath, that we're going to see when he gets to the top of the tower. Vacuum Wave is technically physical, so it does get blocked by Golem. Things like that. I'm sorry, if Edward is the only person you use to take on Zeromus, that is the Edward's strats on Zeromus are some of the like most boring and longest to watch. Like you're just sitting there going, "Oh, I hate this."
In a chest there, Windfox did pick up Sildra, which is also another particularly strong summon magic. Most of the time, it would be weaker than Bahamut, but if you happen to also find the Air Lancet, that boosts Sildra's damage by 50%, making it just as powerful as Bahamut for significantly less MP.
Yes. Just more of that small secret stuff you gotta know to really kind of get the most out of it. It's just like Holy in this game. One of the probably, obviously, is one of the strongest Holy abilities. It's the strongest Holy abilities, but it's Holy. But it's only 20 MP in this. It's so cheap and easy to just cast Holy, Holy, Holy over and over again. So okay, so you do start off with Galuf, and then you do not technically need to ever get Kryl unless you need to go to like Barrier Tower or you need to go through Mua Forest. If you do have to go through either one of those, you are going to get Kryl.
Yeah. Completing the Mua Forest will switch you over to Kryl in this, and Kryl is basically the requirement in order to get into the Fork Tower, because we had to do it that way. Apparently, the game like breaks if you try to do Fork Tower with Galuf in the party.
Yeah, another one of those fine moments where like the coding is just like, nope, sorry, not gonna happen. Picks up a gold hairpin, another good thing to pick up, and yeah, I did see an Aegis Shield get picked up as well.
Yeah, the Aegis Shield is so good that it like. There's an argument to be made that a lot of defensive equipment in Final Fantasy V is actually not particularly valuable. The Aegis Shield straight up has a 1/3 chance of blocking a ton of magic. Like,
and it just straight up prevents you from being petrified, doesn't it?
Yeah,
or is it only percentage?
I think that one is straight up petrification prevention. It is
okay. Yeah.
insane.
Yes, it is one of those that if you see for sale, you're excited. Windfox is taking on the Necrophobia fight inside the castle, so it's not going to be as bad as this vanilla spot, but it's not going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's just going to reset out. He's like, I do not have the team quite ready for this yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, if we had all the tablets, or at least had found the third tablet prior to this, they might be interested in like just skipping that spot entirely, but that's going to be hard to justify when you don't know where that tablet is yet.
Exactly. There's always that in the back of your mind. You're like, oh, I'm right here. Do I do it just because it could be a tablet? But yeah, not who you want to see there. Necrophobia, not a nice person.
Yeah, Colin's out here cashing in that second tablet worth of goodies.
Yep, he's picking up the same thing. Samurai, Freelancer. I didn't see if he also picked up White. He's probably going to go pick up White 6.
The Holy One instead.
Interesting. Does he have Dragoon for X-Death? Is that maybe why?
It could be. It's being one of the few holy-based weapons. It is going to do a damage. Oh yeah, that's true.
Freelancer can equip the Holy Lance. Maybe that's what he's going for.
Yeah. Oh, that was the Magic Knight or Mystic Knight job crystal up in the room next to Gilgamesh's chest there.
That's a good pickup to find.
Yeah, so there's access to any spell blades you might find.
And he finds Ramot at a pretty... I mean, Ramot's not really that scary. Even at this location, he should be able to deal with him fairly quick.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of HP to mine through, though.
Yeah, it will be that. And we can see both runners are actually now inside of Excess Castle at the same time. So they're both rushing to get through this so they can get to World 3. Just because they do now know where the fourth tablet is. Now, I don't know if Karma has picked up their Mirage Radar, though, yet.
I believe they have, yes.
Okay. Casting slow 2 on that Ramot to get him down, and he's got the haste 2 up, so he's in a pretty good spot that way. It's a party full of time mages, so he is on the full Meteo strats.
That'll work great until they need AoE for something, but... Also, interestingly, Windfox taking on Ramuh here means it does appear they've made the decision to just walk away from Necrophobe and, if necessary, back later.
Yeah, it's one of those like, I'll take my chances right now. I wonder if Karma will actually take on the fight, or if he also will just pass it up and move on. Yeah, Raymond, we can see does have now. Granted, he is slowed here, and he's got haste 2 up on his team, so probably won't take too much damage. But yeah, that's a lot of HP to chew through. There it goes. If down goes Ifrit. Making quick work of that, just winding his way through. Meanwhile, Karma is not too far behind him, so they're actually on really good pace as well. I do know, originally, I do have up on there the estimates about 3 hours, but this is one of those things where after we kind of started the racing scene up for this randomizer, we had more and more people running it, kind of actively trying to do it as a standard race setting and get the time down. So we are seeing the race trend to, it's still going to be a little bit longer than your normal randomizer. It's probably trending around 2.5 hours now, maybe a little bit less than that. But I don't think we're ever going to see like 1.5 hours on it like you would see on others. What are considered good...
No,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, it's alright.
What are some good blue magic spells in this game? So Mighty Guard is really, really big. Arrow 3 is good. Goblin Punch can be okay. Mind Blast can be good. White Wind is pretty solid. Yep, Aqua Rake is pretty good. There's quite a few good ones. Dark Claw can be very good if you know like which bosses and enemies can go down to level 1. Garlisle, do you know any other really good ones off the top of your head?
Oh. I know there is a few tricks that you can pull here and there. For instance, if you run into Azulmagia and you cast Self-Destruct on him, Azulmagia, or I guess Apocalypse in this localization, will learn Self-Destruct and then cast it themselves, and you just win the fight.
That is, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. That is probably one of my absolute favorite ones, where you're just like, I'm a blue mage too, and you showed me this new spell. It's called Self-Destruct. I'm like, yes, I did show it to you. Why don't you use it, buddy?
The true blue mage experience.
Exactly. You're just like, but you realize there's 4 of me and only 1 of you. So if you use Explode, I still win.
Yeah. Plus, I think boss levels are a little bit randomized in this, but hey, if you can land like L2 old or level 5 death on a boss, like that can make a huge difference too.
I do know I've seen L2 old used on, even on Neo X death on the Almaguest section, to just basically get its level down to reduce how much damage his Almaguest did. I think we saw Dryalizer last week doing that strategy. So if you get an early Blowfish, it's, oh yeah, Blowfish is another one of those, since you know it's a fixed 1,000 damage. Very solid. Here you can see Karma's just gonna reset instantly out.
Kind of surprised they're not tackling it, but I also don't completely blame them.
Yeah. I can't blame them either. It's not fun. Finding that Mystic Knight job for Karma as well. Mystic Knight, another one of those kind of top tier jobs, just because between Mute Blade, Break Blade, and some of the others, and it can equip swords, it's a fairly well received job.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Windfox is out of X-Death and is off to World 3.
I didn't even see him take on the X-Death fight. I like blinked it. What happened?
Video happened.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was insanely fast.
Naturally, this means there's a couple different checks that open up in World 3, but of those available to our racers, I'm not surprised to see Windfox going to Mirage first, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Karma go there too once they've made it.
Yep.
Oh, I see a Mirage Vest already, for instance.
Yep, Mirage Vest I saw on there. There's some other really good things. So now you can see, comes the magic moment where you're like, sell off everything we don't need. Oh, we do see Karma still does have a Dancer, and he's almost doing, with that chicken knife, he is almost doing max damage. He's already doing 7,500 per sword dance already, so... By the time he does get to Neo X Death, that sword dance is going to be doing max damage. Hey, just selling off everything. Everything must go. I'm wondering if he's going to guild toss or if he's actually going to be buying stuff.
I mean, why not both?
Oh, yeah. He's got enough gold at this point that he can do that. Yeah, don't sell off that Aegis Shield. You kind of want that one. So he is getting black shirts. Okay. Picking everything up, getting everybody that black shirt. Meanwhile, Karma does get the Ramon down at a fairly quick time as well. Yeah, Windfox is pretty all in on that Meteo strat, that Meteo damage right now, which I can't blame him. See, bridge areas hold new keys of value, so that's for sure big bridge. And it should be something else now too, right? If I remember correctly, one of the things that they're working on right now is updating some of the hints. So bridges must refer to something else, I'm guessing. Probably Island Shrine?
In the future, I believe it'll refer to the Solitary Island Shrine as well.
Okay,
but,
that's what I figured it had to be.
Yeah, I think right now, bridge is literally just the big bridge.
Yeah, it is right now. Does find the Cure 3 in there as well, and yeah, he's probably going to be picking that up for sure. What else is available in there? Dispel's solid, but I don't think he's going to pick it up. Picked up Doom. Did see Guard Off in there as well. If he had Blue Mage, Guard Off's another really one of those really good abilities. Here's Quick. I wonder if he's going to pick that up. Doesn't pick up Quick, though. Alright, let's see Karma take on his X-Death fight. He is going to be doing pretty much the same stuff. He looks like he's going to be doing Meteos. Probably has the Ferris with the Holy Lance. And Butts with the Sword Dance. Yep, there's the first dance coming out. Not the dance you want to see.
Yeah, that is always the hard part of Dancer, is it can be like one of the best single target damage sources in the game, but there's always the chance it just doesn't.
Yeah, and sometimes you just get that roll where it just does the exact worst thing possible all the time.
Yeah, saw some nice old break blade sitting over in one of the shops for Windfox. So.
Another great pickup there, and he's going to grab that black chocobo and make his way up to Bahamut. There's a sword dance coming out for him. Looks like, yep, Dynamo hit him, so he has to get everybody back into position. Yep, there's that Holy Lance on Ferris, doing some fairly solid damage. Keeping up that Meteo damage coming out. And yep, Windfox running his way over to go see who is waiting for him at the Odin spot. Or not Odin, Bahamut spot. And you can see, unfortunately, gets that fire 3 on his Dancer. So he's kind of in that spot where you don't want to be, where now he's going to just start casting high-level stuff.
Yeah, hopefully these Meteos can burn through the last phase fairly quick, which they should be able to.
Yeah, if he gets some good RNG on his Meteos, it looks like he's getting some okay numbers there. Yep, down it goes. Minotaur, okay. Yeah, he does not have a team set up for Minotaur right now.
Yeah, no, Windfox has been relying pretty much completely on Meteo up to this point, and at the start, I did mention you can use magic on almost every boss, but there are bosses you literally can't. Minotaur's deal is you literally cannot use any of the magic command sets against him.
Yeah, and yeah, Minotaur at the Bahamut spot is going to be quite the fight, too. Especially when your entire team has been built. Oh, he's just going to Guild Toss it. I was wondering, it's like, he's just going to cheese this out. Does not want to have to deal with that.
I cannot blame him.
I can't blame him either. Yep, so the party will eat the holy at the end of of it, so you gotta make sure you at least have two people still up, one of them to absorb that holy. I don't know if he does have ninja, so at least one person will have the image ability. I don't know if everybody has the image ability though. Does he have enough MP for it at this spot? I believe he should. So in this randomizer, what is the objective? So it's very similar to like a free enterprise or a Worlds Collide. So we were looking for, in this randomizer, 6 specific Go mode items, basically. So the 4 traditional Go mode items are the 4 tablets that you'll find that you need to get through the void to get to the big bad Neo X Death himself. But along the way, we have 2 other Go mode items, because this game technically has 3 different worlds. If you've ever played the original Final Fantasy V, there's 3 different worlds that you progress through. In this current setup for the randomizer, we have Worlds 1 and 2 unlocked that you can jump through between at any time using a specific item we've added to the game called the Warp Shard. But in order to get to World 3, you have to have a key item called the Anti-Barrier, and a key item called the Bracelet, and that allows you to go up into World 2, into X-Death's castle, and kill X-Death in his castle, and that unlocks World 3, which then you can be able to go to the Void. So we're technically looking for, in total, 6 Go mode items, 4 tablets, one of which you start off with, and so technically you're looking for 3 tablets, the Bracelet, and the Anti-Barrier to be able to take you all the way to the final boss.
Yeah. So Windfox, it seems, has given up on North Mountain at the moment, which I don't blame them, and has opted to head out to the Solitary Shrine instead. The gargoyle spots have actually been randomized as well among the different bosses, and they do not give key items, but compared to most World 3 spots, they actually have relatively little HP. So this is one of the last, relative sigh of relief locations for certain troublesome bosses to be.
And I can't tell if you got the Excalibur or the Excalibur there for Karma. I think you got the Excalibur, because I think you'd be equipping Excalibur if you got that. So yeah, Windfox is taking on is that Lone Island Shrine?
Yeah, the Solitary Island Shrine.
I want to call it the Lonely Island Shrine. Yes, Excalibur was renamed to Excalibur recently, so it's a lot more easier to say for everybody. But yes, Garlau, for henceforward, is going to be known as the Lonely Island Shrine.
Oh, there's a chest there?
Yeah, there's so many chests in this. Like, some of these places I did not realize there were. I love the Chocobo music so much.
Oh, it's so good.
It's got such a nice little bounce to it.
Yeah, Karma is I feel like Karma might actually be willing to take on Bahamut at this point.
He's got Sword Dancer Party, so...
Yeah, they do actually have tools that'll set them up a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the reason why Excalibur was used, but it's just like one of those things in the randomizer, and later in the GBA, they did call it Excalibur, and especially in the randomizer, it just makes it a lot easier to identify which is which I know kind of defeats the point of it, but it is what it is. Because part of the joke was the difficulty in distinguishing between Ba and Pa. Yeah, I can see it. I think that's what those kanji are. Those not kanji. Those aren't kanji. Is it katakana?
Katakana.
Yeah, katakana. Yeah, I think that's ba and pa, because it'd normally be ha. Okay, yeah. Trying to remember my very limited Japanese.
Yeah, Karma seems to have a small advantage here in that they had not come up here before. So they just got another check on the way, instead of having to essentially double down on the location.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that works out for him. Now he's going to see this party, and he's going to go, oh, I have the wrong team. Machine Head, easy fight. Yep, he's gonna go. I mean, he might. Well, I mean, you'd have to use your 2 white mages purely as just item users. Or he could attack with them too, I guess. Oof. That critical, though.
Yeah, that 500 damage is not gonna cut it.
Yeah. Nope. He's gonna have to get image up and use dance, and hopefully he can... If he had... those Mirage vests are looking more and more better from Mirage Village.
Yeah, they really are. Karma deciding, nope, screw this for now. Everybody getting stoned suddenly is essentially a soft reset that was added to this randomizer, just so for those moments where you realize your party is straight up hopeless, you can just soft reset it.
Yep, no need to soft or reset your emulator or anything like that. You can just boop, gets straight back in there pretty quickly.
Yeah. Windfox also finding a Brave Blade, which I don't think I've seen a knight on their side, but if they do, the Brave Blade and the Chicken Knife in this randomizer are always set to the maximum possible strength, and the Brave Blade is really good, so that could make a huge difference for Minotaur.
Yeah, to Jetter's point, with the image ability, so you'd be able to cast it, and with dance, you'd be able to take that fight just fine. I don't know though if Karma has checked his Mirage Village though, because you'd also find the Mirage Vest in there as well. Yeah, it looks like Windfox is actually building up a Black Mage too, and Black Mage is a job that you don't normally see used as much as you'd think you would.
I am pretty sure they did pick up a Wizard Rod somewhere earlier, so that actually helps a lot with Black Mage's power.
Oh yeah, for sure. Here we see Bahamut waiting for them. And I think this is the same shrine. Here you can see he's putting up that earth wall. You kind of have to. Okay, yeah, so here we can see Karma's probably going to go back and get those Mirage Vests.
Two Assassin Daggers.
Interesting. What is he trying to instant kill?
Probably less for the instant kill and more just for the fact that it would be a high damage weapon for a dancer to use.
True. Or for his mages, maybe? Or just for anybody who, on that fight, can't magic cast. But yeah, I guess you put that... so maybe he's going for a team of dancers, then?
That seems a pretty reasonable way to tackle this at this point.
You can see he's looking for his Mirage Radar, or his Mirage Vests.
I mean, he was in the shop with them. Windfox does take down Bahamut, though, by the skin of his teeth, but...
Finds a Moogle suit, too, so he's probably going to run over there to see what Moogle suit has for him, because that's some more. That's 5 more high-level, 5-level chests.
Yeah. Another option our runners could choose to tackle if they feel like they are really stuck under-geared is they could actually head into the Void and start opening chests there.
Yep.
The chests in the Void, they'll be able to partially access it with 2 of the tablets, and those chests will also contain some of the highest tier items in the game.
Yeah, and I have seen runners do that before, where they'll jump into the Void looking for just some chests, and they'll run out because they're like, okay, well, I definitely can't take this boss, but I'll take the chest all the way up until the first boss, which does get you pretty far. And it looks like Karma is going to go back to take on the Minotaur. Meanwhile, Windfoxes, let's see what Windfox finds in Moogle Village. It's a Moogle.
Surprise!
Suit. Come up here. He's gonna flirt with this poor other Moogle and just take their gift and then never visit them again. Truly a horrible thing to do. Does find Leviathan there.
Also pretty welcome, but again, I don't think they've found high enough summon magic to use that.
X Magic, Bahamut, Genji Glove, Ragnarok, Dragoon Spear, and a Genji Shield. Some good stuff in there too. X Magic for sure.
X Magic, the weapons and the shield will help a ton against Minotaur.
Yep, for sure. That I did not even think about the Ragnarok. The Ragnarok is going to make much easier time of Minotaurs. Exactly, just toying with that poor Moogle's emotions. He's like, hey, I like you too. Let me have what's in that chest. Oh, by the way, I'm never gonna see you again. Windfox going back also to Mirage Village. Moogles do hoard the good stuff. Moogle Village is always worth checking. Exactly right. Yeah, those Moogles, they've got the hookup. They know where to find the good stuff. Looks like he's gonna go with the ninja party. Interesting, and maybe he doesn't want the randomness that comes with the dancers?
That's possible. Artemy pointed out earlier, picking up those assassin daggers might also be for the purpose of throwing them.
Oh, I know why he's picking up Ninja. Ninja has the image ability. But not at this low level. But he is going to throw some stuff at him. Oh! If you throw an assassin dagger, it instantly kills him?
Huh?
You learn something new every day. People, we talk about, like, there's so much stuff to learn in this randomizer. From the sounds of it, neither of us knew that worked either. Holy cow.
Yeah, no, don't have that in the documentation I keep.
It only works on Minnow. Okay. Well,
what? Okay.
Just another one of those things where we talked about, where this game is just full of puzzles to figure out about every single boss and stuff like that. So that's another one of those, just like, oh, if I ever run into Minotauros and I have an assassin's dagger, you have a way to get around it. It's part of his AI script for some reason. The AI scripting for this game must be a truly madhouse underneath the hood. That was, I'm still kind of speechless. That was something. Something to add to the wiki document. Meanwhile, Karma gonna go back up into his castle. Oh, I did not know you could get a health pot there.
Yep, right next to where you warp shard in World 3. Really nice for the fact that, like, it's really easy to get caught up in checking key items in this game and forget to actually stop and restore yourself.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of Today I Learned. Key Paladin. There is quite a bit of Today I Learned going on about this game. And what's so crazy is Windfox and IBKarma are fairly new runners to this randomizer. It is amazing how fast they have picked up kind of all the tricks that are in this randomizer. I do know they talk a lot to like Drylizer in the chat and to a lot of the other people that are in the chat. But I also know they said they run about a seed a night. So they are like in the hyperbolic time chamber as far as learning to race this randomizer.
Yeah, they're also risking the instant kill strats on the gargoyles, which is, I mean, it works, but the big thing to watch out for in this is these two can actually revive each other, so you might be rolling the dice for a bit if you're unlucky.
Yes, so the gargoyles are added into the random pool. So the 4 gargoyles, I think that you get added, would get randomized into it. Let's see how Windfox takes care of it. I wonder if Windfox looks like he is going to do a different strategy. He is going to do the good old-fashioned kind of tank and spank. So I don't think Windfox must know about then the assassin thrown dagger.
Yeah, the gargoyle fights, they are separately randomized. One gargoyle was added into the pool, and then instead of having like 4 different copies of the same boss, we substituted essentially the other 3 boss fights for Ramu, Shote, and Gold.
Find it ironic that gargoyles, something that's a stone creature, weak to stone, or weak to be turned into stone. There's so much of that stuff that's in here that you're just like, I'm not even gonna ask why it works. It just does.
Yeah. Karma's finding some nice stuff in there. I saw Mix and Magic Sword 6 coming out of chests there.
Good stuff to be finding. Windfox struggling a little bit. Getting some good blocks, though. Phoenix Tower never has go mode items in it? No. It's not a check, so it's not going to have a key item.
Yeah. Phoenix Tower is essentially repurposed in this to function as an end game like grind spot. So you will never be required to go there during a run. In fact, you can't.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I have. It's been so long since I played Vanilla 5. I was trying to remember even where Phoenix Tower is. It's like, well, it must not be super important because I don't think I've ever had to go there in the randomizer. So one thing that has been added to this randomizer as well is we actually do have what are called the portal bosses. So what these are is the creator of this randomizer, Cleartonic, has added 3 specific bosses, and kind of created them entirely by himself. And they are an alternative way to beat the randomizer without facing Neo X Death. Now, normally, I think they are sometimes a little bit harder than Neo X Death, and you do get a random one, so you don't know who's going to be waiting in there. But we do have 3 other bosses that we can use as like to end the randomizer kind of run. Currently, the 3 of them are, and this one is set to random, is the Dragon Clan, which is 3 separate dragons that are, I think, of 3 different elements. We've got the Rain Senshi, and then we've got the Somber Mage. So if you ever just do get tired of facing Neo X Death every single time and you want to spice it up, we do have those 3 extra bosses as well that you can attempt. Oh, Galif, you have Excalibur equipped, don't you? And Minotaurus, for some weird reason, absorbs Holy.
Yeah, hopefully Windfox realizes what's going on pretty quick. Or
Yep, I think he sees that Excalibur and he's taking it off.
Yeah. Here's the Hear You plant at Leviathan Spot. This would be a dangerous place to see this boss normally because of the amount of just HP that is located in the spot. But also the Hear You plant is weak to a number of various methods of instant killing.
You can break him, you can Odin him, you can use the slash ability from Samurai, you can... What else can you do? Oh, you cannot break blade him though. Can you shoot him?
I think you can shoot the plants.
Yeah, it looks like you can shoot plants.
Breakblade would have inflicted Petrify there. That's the way magic swords work, is they have a 100, like, they are guaranteed success if the target is actually vulnerable to it.
Yeah, so, unfortunately, Karma does not have the Slash or Odin, so he doesn't have a way to instantly kill this. And this can be an annoying fight. Those plants respawn fast and quick. Which...
Yeah, X-Zone should work.
Yeah, I think...
Yep.
Yeah, that should. Another boss that they did not expect you to just be able to, like, one-shot with an ability. Hear You Plant seems like the boss that is, like, has the most ways that can be instantly killed, now that I think about it. You can X-Zone it, you can slash it, you can Odin it. What else can you do to him? Is it maybe just that? I don't know.
I'd have to look. We do get the Hear You call out of that spot, so we can chase that little thread by heading to the boat now.
Meanwhile, Windfox, still working on his Minotaurus fight, does have image going up on 2 people, so does have some negation for all the physical, and thankfully he's also getting a fair number of blocks. And if you block it, it does not eat up one of your image stacks, so... Looks like he is going to go take on the Zeza fleet. Man, Minotaurus does not like Galif. He is just hitting Galif over and over again. Every single time he has used a Phoenix down on Galif, he just gets hit again. Here you can see he is making great use of that image ability, getting that image ability up every single time. And really, that's probably one of the easiest ways to take care of Minotaurs, outside of, apparently, the Assassin Dagger throw. Assassin Dagger making quick work of that Gabbledock.
Sol Cannon here on Zez's fleet, but at this point I feel like Karma's powerful enough that that's not really all that scary.
Yeah, Yeah, shouldn't be too bad. Windfox does get the Minotaurus down, so he gets his second tablet.
Now it's just a question of where that missing third tablet is.
Yep, it is all coming down to that third tablet before they're in go mode, and they're still doing pretty good time-wise. They're still only at an hour and a half in. So maybe earlier my prediction about a 2.5 hour seed, depending on how bad this third tablet is to find. Maybe we're consistently getting seeds down to like just over the 2 hour mark now, which would be impressive. Because who knew? You just got to inspire people to start racing this, and you give them one extra tablet, and all of a sudden, we can really start pushing these times down.
Yeah, having that starting tablet does enable, like, the sealed castle is... It would be rare to walk out of the sealed castle with nothing that lets you get going.
Yeah, and I think that was the kind of the other reason why we kind of decided to leave that in, but we didn't want to make it... There it is! Karma's in go mode. Now, it's a question of, like, okay, is he high enough level to really go into the Path of Void, and by the time he gets through the boss gauntlet that's in there, is he going to be a high enough level to take on X-Death, or does he need to go grind on some other bosses?
It'll be cutting it close. Currently, I believe Karma has found blue magic, but no Mighty Guard, which could definitely means taking a lot of damage against Neo X-Death. But also there's a decent chance of finding that along the way, as well as like a high-level summon spell or something. And both of our runners have picked up Samurai, so they do have access to Guild Toss for damage.
Yeah, it looks like he's diving right into it. So yeah, I think this is going to be a just over 2 hour seed, because the Void does take a little bit of time to get through. There is quite a few bosses in here that you got to work your way through. But he's probably looking for just over a 2 hour seed then.
Yeah, assuming everything goes right, which
yes.
One thing I learned during last week's race, I was fighting Neo X-Death at the 2 hour mark, and I finished 3.5 hours in because things just went that wrong.
Yeah, that seed the last time we ran it was extremely jetty too. Like that one, yeah, you had all 4 tablets in no time, and it's just like, great, well now I've got to go grind on stuff to be able to get to a decent level.
Yeah, I reached at a decent level, but I made the mistake of thinking I was properly equipped to deal with Neo X-Death, and I was not.
And he put you back in your place. He's like, not yet. Meanwhile, we got Windfox taking on Carbuncle, who Carbuncle is not... Can be a bit tricky, because you gotta wait for him to lower his guard. But it is
once he does,
yeah. Yeah. There you can just see just how powerful Shode is, just taking care of so many things. If you are interested in the Final Fantasy V Career Day randomizer, I am going to put a link for it in the chat. The link here does take you to where you would actually roll the seeds. It does have a link to the Discord, which is a great community. Everybody's more than willing to answer any questions you might have. We do have Seeds of the Week going now as well that we're getting up and going, and we are starting to try to make these races a little bit more of a common thing as well. But that Discord, or that link, also takes you to the wiki, which has a lot of great information on like how to start a seed, and we are working to get more resources available to newer runners for this randomizer as well, just because there is a lot of details, as you can see, like all these different things that you can learn about the randomizer. We're trying to get a lot of that information combined into one spot as well. But yeah, if you want a randomizer that's really going to make you, A, learn a lot of tricks like what we're seeing tonight, but B, make you learn a lot of different ways to approach a fight and a way to think about your party, the Final Fantasy V Career Day randomizer, I think, is second to none into that, really making you consider what your party looks like. Yeah.
So Karma did get lucky and found the summoner job in one of the chests, which is going to help out a ton. Especially against the nastiness that is the Borobros boss fight.
Yes.
This boss fight in particular, the 6 of them, they can decide at any point to self-destruct, which this late in the game is going to do a ton of damage. And also, if they haven't been muted before they die, they will revive every other one that is currently dead.
And and as somebody who has had to grind them through their HP, it does take, or like just without like any way to silence them or kill them all at the same time, it takes a while. But he does have that mute blade, so that will be really, really helpful. And he's slowing them all down, so he's just going to have Ferris mute everybody, and they'll just take care of them one at a time. Mute blade, by the way, if you didn't know, also the way you can take care of omniscience. You just cast mute blade, you hit omniscience, it's guaranteed to hit. He cannot kill him, or he cannot cast anything, he cannot cast reset, and then you can just beat him up like normal. Making quick yak work. Yeah, he's got that Sildra going, so that should be pretty fast going. Meanwhile, Windfox looks like he is going to go to the Trench Shrine.
Yeah, found the page for that. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the thing they're looking for, but down in the trench is another 3 hints at the Dwarf Village, and there's a decent chance one of those hints may actually point him in the right direction.
Yep, we really need him to go get the Hero You Call, which the Hero You Call was at what shrine? Was that the Lonely Island Shrine?
I think that was at History Fall, at the
Falls,
Leviathan
okay.
location.
Oh, and he gets the life off. So all of those others, Puroboros has come back. Yeah, that stinks. I think that was the one that he had not silenced yet. So yeah, now you can see he gets to go through of getting all of them silenced up again. He works on that. Windfox working his way and gets an exploder off when the pros. Windfox working his way through Gilgamesh 4. Who can put up fairly good damage as well, especially this late. But he just needs to get him to his form where he's going to transform. Then it'll be fairly easy to deal with. Oh, it looks like he gets them through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was just at a gargoyle spot.
Yeah, kind of got lucky there. But yeah, unfortunately, Windfox is not gonna like what he sees at the end of this, shrine. Yeah, you could multicast sleep. There's a few different ways you can handle this.
Yeah, you can kill them with magical AoE, even if you don't bother sleeping or muting them, so long as they all die simultaneously.
Yeah, you've got Gil Toss, who could Gil Toss them down to try to kill them all at the same time. You've got options, but looks like he is just going. He's got them both muted, so that's one down. I think he's got this last one muted, so it should not be any issues.
Yep, finally down. When playing through this randomizer, Puroboros is one of those bosses that is always in the back of my head of, how am I going to deal with this if I run into them?
And how much time is it going to take? Because that's what I always run into, is like, oh, this fight is going to take a while.
Oh, there's Odin, now that we have Summoner.
That's another good one to find up. Even if Odin doesn't insta-kill, he does have his other. So, unlike most other early Final Fantasy games, Odin has actually 2 abilities in this one. If he can instant-kill, he will use the True Edge ability, which does insta-kill them. If he cannot, though, he does use the Gungear ability, which is a piercing, non-elemental magic damage spell. So, not bad.
Let's see if any of the hints are going to save Windfox from a wild goose chase.
Yeah, that is one of the things that can happen in this randomizer, is you can get sent on a wild goose chase. No magic lamp either, which most of the time if I find a magic lamp, it's always ends up being inside the sealed castle, but you might get lucky.
Oh, there's Karma taking use of that Odin almost immediately to just instant kill what would be the Iron Claw fight.
Poor Iron Claw doesn't even get to transform.
Yep. Also, it looks like Windfox didn't get any hints that helped save them, so as they say, that's a time loss.
Yeah. Just like any other randomizer, Final Fantasy V, if you just go down the wrong trail and your opponent went down the right one at the right time, really hard to make up that time. See Karma making quick work through the castle so far. He's going to get those extra chests that are waiting for him inside the castle. Finding the good stuff there. Guard ring, not too much useful. Found an angel suit, but that's also no super. Makes quick work of the abductor. Abductor, another one of those bosses you can pretty much instant kill with a lot of different spells. Karma,
yeah, at least doesn't end up losing a bunch of time to a hard fight down there.
Yep. Karma's going to take on the Apocrypha fight and find out, or Apocalypse, I'm sorry. Find Gilgamesh 1 down there, so that should be fairly easy. Yep, doing max damage with that sword stance. Makes quick work of a Gilgamesh 1. Gilgamesh takes one sword dance and it's like, oh, wrong place. This is not where I parked my car. So he's gonna pick up, yep, always good to pick up that save location. It's probably one of the last consistent saves you can get before Neo X Death. It finds Ifrit at the catastrophe spot. So yeah, he can just break blade Ifrit. But flares Ferris right away. What are the chances of that? Let's see what Windfox is going to find here waiting for him in the Treasure Shrine. Just going to use Shoat instead to get rid of Ifrit. I did not see Artemy what it was.
It might have been Blue Magic Windfox found. I want to say Blue Mage was located in the Void, but one of the two of them was in the Void.
Yeah, Blue, one of the others finds, and there's Apocrypha himself, or Apocalypse. I don't know, I keep saying Apocrypha. Apocalypse himself. Apocalypse can be really nasty because he is a Blue Mage and can do a lot of different nasty things back to you. Such as roulette, such as a whole bunch of other things. He likes to use Goblin Punch, that does a lot of damage, and got a 2-0 rolls on that Meteor. That's ouch.
Yeah, while your stats do not affect Meteor, the enemy's magic defense does factor in, and it has a particularly high effective multiplier against it. So the handful of bosses that do have high magic defense, you can actually be hitting for 0.
Karma getting very lucky with finding Omniscient here and having that Mute Blade, so he is going to make quick work of this fight. Another free, basically, boss at this point, because that Mute is guaranteed to always hit. And if you got 2 people with Mute Blades up and going, you can just start going to town on him, and you don't have to worry about him basically doing anything to you.
Yeah, which is really good, because I've seen some races find Omniscient in high HP spots and just be utterly dunked on by him.
Oh,
the
yeah.
only things, if you're not muting Omniscient, the only things that are safe to use against him are the various magic commands that use the lists. Stuff directly like summon magic, white magic. Not even like variant stuff like using items to cast spells or using like the random conjure ability that creates a random summon. Any of that stuff will just cause Omniscient to cast Reset, and you'll start to fight over.
Dot Warner's what he said. So, you can Berserk Omniscient, but that old man underneath those robes apparently works out, because he does a lot of physical damage if you do Berserk him. So I would be very careful with using that strategy. Oh no, and Windfox finds an Elder Branch at the end of that shrine, so I'm really hoping he does not take that Elder Branch and think, okay, well, maybe I need to go Elder Branch to Tower, to Fork Tower.
I mean, I want to say that won't happen, but also... I'm looking at their tracker, actually, and I don't think they ever did the Karnak race, which I think was where they got the History Falls page.
Oh, no.
So, Windfox doesn't even have currently the ability to go to where they need to go.
Maybe he's gonna do it. No, he's just doing. Here You Call was at Astoria Falls. Astoria Falls was at the Escape from Karnak with the steamship key. Steamship key was, where was Steve? I think he should have steamship key.
Yeah, they both got the steamship key very, very early. Windfox just, for whatever reason, has not done the steamship, but it looks like they're headed there. So hopefully this is the path they decide to change.
Okay. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully he stays on this path. Hopefully he gets the shrine page and just goes, okay, I'm going to take this path, see where this goes first, which would reward him greatly, because I'm worried he is going to go, oh, I got the Elder Branch, let me do Elder Branch into Fork Tower, and then just get nothing, or possibly even deeper in a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's the wrong choice because of what we know, but also it would be a sensible choice. History Falls is 2 boss fights for 1 location, and it is a spicy potential boss fight at the end.
Yes. Yeah, this is one of those things. There is a lot of checks in this randomizer, and a lot of checks can take you down rabbit holes. So this is definitely one of those where you can see where, like, yeah, your opponent just got on the right path at the right time, and you took a different path, and it's kind of what cost you the race. But that's also kind of the reason why we love randomizers and we love racing, is because you never know if that one decision that you made that was different ended up being what caused you to win the race. Yeah, Kryl isn't bad either. She does have higher magic than Galuf, whereas Galuf is the more physical, has better physical stats. Karma taking down Omniscient fairly easily.
And interestingly, not going back to save. Hopefully that doesn't bite him in the butt.
Yeah, I'll see who's waiting here for Twintanium for him. Ooh.
Fortunately, it appears Karma picked up Mighty Guard somewhere along the way. Mighty Guard is an amazing spell in this game. It is one of the most expensive spells in the game. But it also grants your entire party float, shell, and protect at once. So at least there's less concern about being like killed through outright damage, and having Bolt 3 Sword means like cap damage attacks. So the fight will be over quick, but it's still a little scary.
And he really doesn't have much healing. He is relying on like getting haste 2 and everything off. And getting Golem, so he does not have the greatest. I think his only source of healing right now is like the high potions he picked up and everything.
Yeah, there is White Wind from Blue Magic, fortunately.
Oh, does he have a?
But that
who does have a blue. Okay, yes, he does have White Wind. Okay.
Yeah, but that does require somebody to actually be at high HP to be an effective healing spell.
Correct. But that Swords Dance with Bolt 3. Woo. Although at this point, Swords Dance with that chicken knife is probably already doing max damage anyway, so.
Yeah, honestly, like regular attacks are probably more effective. With Leviathan being weak to lightning damage, Bolt 3 Sword is going to be dealing 4 times damage and ignoring defense.
So he's casting. Yeah, have to. I guess Ferris is going to be his White Winder here. Meanwhile, Windfox should be making quick work of Arcavius, especially at the level he's at now. But still relying and still just using Meteor strats. Like, he is pretty fully in on those. Takes it down for the first time, so now you should make quick work of it on the second. Karma putting back up his golem to make sure he's not taking damage that way. Here goes down there, Arcavius. So fingers crossed for Windfox's sakes that he takes that Astoria's Falls and he decides to go that path with it. Because if not, he could be falling really, really far behind Karma here. I just noticed there was a lot of anti-magic bows in this seed. I think we found like 3 or 4.
Kind of a shame considering how relatively useless they are.
Yeah. I think they only work on, what, maybe 2 bosses very well?
Yeah, and even then, like, if you get a Mage Master, that works on any class that can use bows as well, and also is more, like, actually deals damage and works more frequently.
Yeah, Cheddar Stalker, you know, everybody's favorite fight.
Oh, they haven't done the longer runes yet either. Oh, that's gonna cost them more time.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, Windfox just kind of went down the wrong path for a while, and now is like, I mean, not the wrong path, but because he has all the other tablets, he just took, unfortunately, the wrong path to get that 3rd tablet. I mean, you should make pretty quick work of a lot of these fights that he's going to run into along the way, but... And you can see, it looks like Karma's getting ready to go take on Neo Exdeath because he's putting on that Samurai job and getting that Guild Toss ready. Guild Toss and Combined. He is going full ham strats here. Yeah, well, if I had Guild Toss Samurais with Combined, yeah, I would go straight in too. I'm not too worried about that at that point now.
Yeah, plus now they've got, like, high-level summoning, they've got blue magic access.
Yeah. But I think he literally has a party of all 4 Samurai with Combined. Is literally his team. So he's like, hold my beer, let me show you how powerful Chemist Samurai is. It'll be interesting to see if he takes the last boss at the Void to get that extra save point and the extra warp point, or if he just goes straight into Exdeath.
Oh, and there's a magic lamp to instant kill one part.
That's a nice little pickup. Now, he does still have to use it 2 times before it gets to the Odin, but that's easy to do. You're going to cast probably Bahamut on phase 1, and the Leviathan on phase 1 as well. So for anybody who does not know, basically the way Magic Lamp works is it casts the highest level summon first, it's time of use, so it goes Bahamut, and then it basically works its way down the list. But what makes it very good for Exdeath is that when it gets to Odin, it always uses the True Edge ability. And that is one way True Edge from Magic Lamp Odin will kill the Almagest section. Or no, will kill... Is the Almagest or is it the back section of Neo Exdeath?
It's the back section, the one that casts the various spells.
Okay, so it's still a way to instantly kill one section of Neo Exdeath. The butt. Okay, yeah, it kills the butt of Neo Exdeath. But yeah, Karma going straight into the Exdeath. So here's phase 1, the tree phase. Everybody say hi to Ted. Ted likes to cast White Hole, which will instantly paralyze you and kill you. But if you have immunity to paralyzation, it basically does nothing. But once he gets to a certain health point limit, he goes into the second phase of the Ted fight, where he starts casting a lot of nasty spells too, though. This looks like he is getting... Oh, he's just going to Samson's power everybody up so he can just Guild Toss to the moon.
Makes sense.
Yep. Here's where you guys are going to get to see the power of Chemist and the power of Samurai.
Yeah, Guild Toss's damage is pretty much entirely based upon a combination of the user's level and the enemy's defense stat. So, boosting up your level with Samson power is going to make things a little more expensive, but at a certain point, you're pretty much going to be hitting max damage as an AoE with every use of Guild Toss.
Yep, and Guild Toss, especially in the beginning phase, is going to do quite a bit more damage just because, it's going to cost quite a bit less gold because it is based on the amount of targets you're hitting as well. So with only one target to hit, you're saving some money in that phase to really get you ready for the next phase. And you can see here, he's basically not getting hit by X-Death at all. He can dodge White Hole, and now he's just going to Samson's power everybody up. Meanwhile, Windfox trying to find out which Stalker is the real Stalker. And just casting some spells, getting lucky. Okay, so Windfox gets him down. I didn't see how... Oh, he must have just gotten hit with an actual physical attack, which kind of sets him back on getting his Samson's powers up, but...
Yeah, I don't think level boosts reset when you're KO'd, at least,
Does
so
not.
there's that.
That would make it a lot easier. It looks like it must not, because he's not even using it on him anymore. And you're also going to get to see... They do not reset. Okay, well, that's good to know. You're also going to get to see... So he's got the Falls page now for Windfox, so now if we got to see if he actually goes to the Falls. But we're also going to get to see the Ninja also just has naturally high... Or the Samurai, for some weird reason, just has naturally high evasion. So he's also going to be relying on that a little bit, too. Down to his last turtle shell. So he's using the turtle shell to get haste drink. Okay. There's our first guild toss. 2, 3. I think the fourth one should probably... Nope, okay. Maybe he's going to need an extra one or two. There we go. Now he's going to start transforming. Yeah, just like any other problem you have in life, just throw money at it and it'll go away.
Yeah. Now, hopefully, Karma actually has enough gil to sustain this through the final boss, but it probably won't be an issue.
Yes, I don't think it should be. If he doesn't, though, he's in an awkward spot, but... What is the Void? It was supposed to be, like, in the lore of the game, it's like this space between the worlds kind of thing, where basically they dumped all of their bad power, basically. Oh, that's right, okay, I forget, he actually says was the Void. Who knew if you stuff a tree full of angry demons and all the bad stuff, it becomes an evil tree also. There comes out Ned himself. Still awesome. Like, I will say, out of all, like, Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6, they did a great job with all of the boss sprites, too. Because, like, X-Death just looks really cool. Zeromus looks pretty cool overall most of the time, too. And then, of course, like, Kefka from 6 just looks amazing as well. So, they did a great job with this era of, like, boss sprites.
Yeah.
Let's see where...
So this is gonna go quick.
Yeah, he's just doing so much damage. We need to see if Windfox goes to Astoria Falls, though, and it doesn't look like he's headed that way.
Oh, that's actually kind of scary.
Uh-oh. That's one person down. That's two people down. And evacuate.
Oh, it was literally left with just the one part. Oh, that's it. It's done already.
Oh, wow. So let's see what the official race time. So that is IBKarma with an official race time of 2:07:56. How can I'm gonna have to do... I'm trying to think of how I can do this and not goof up the overlay. I think I can do it this way. Aha, okay. So he had an official race time of 2:07:56. I get that entered in, and then we'll see if Karma is available for a interview. Nice. So while I work on that, we see Windfox. Where is Windfox at? So he is at the, what is that, the Karnak Meteor, working his way through?
Yeah, still seems to have decided to just check locations in order from, like, easiest to hardest. So it might be a while before he goes and checks History Falls, because that is one of the more dangerous locations that's left.
Yeah, I think unfortunately that might be the trap that he gets put into. Let me see if I can reach out to our winner, Karma. See if he would like to come talk to us. I do not want to see a twisted and tortured amalgamation of Ned Flanders' faces. I don't need to go to sleep with that every single night.
I, on the other hand, am all for that.
I don't need nightmare fuel. So while I wait to see if Karma is going to be able to join us for an interview, looks like Windfox is going back in to go take on the second ancient cave fight. So I think that's technically where Biblos would be.
Yeah, this will at least give us a chance to look at some of the other bosses that we fortunately or unfortunately evaded in this game. For instance, we never saw the crystals anywhere.
Yes, we did not see the crystals. So it looks like we are going to get joined by Karma for an interview. Let me see if I can get him to hop in and join us. Yeah, Windfox definitely is still on a very, very solid time for this run. This was just one of those where Karma got on the right track right away and was able to save up a lot of time. He very likely could have also gone on the same track that Windfox did and have a very similar time. So I don't want us to be like, for us to think that, oh, Karma is going to have a slow time. He just made a big detour. He's still doing a very, very good time for this seed.
Hello.
And we are joined by IBKarma. GG's for the amazing race today.
GG's. Really good hints.
Yes, it did look like a lot of the hints kind of gave you some good direction. So how do you feel about this seed overall as a whole?
Good hints, but Minotauro sucked and Windshrine sucked just because I decided to hit with a monk when I shouldn't have.
Yeah, we did see that. We're like, oh, he is going to use his stone. Shoat is going to paralyze you twice. That's not going to be probably exactly what you wanted.
No, Liquid Flame, like I double hit him and he double flamed me, and it was
flame.
like,
Okay.
Yeah, I should have won that first fight if I just hit with the knives on the two top chemists.
Yep. But you did still make great time for the seed. I mean, we were saying you were probably going to be just right over the 2-hour mark, and it's exactly where you finished up at that 2:07. It looks like you kind of had the right track for going to the Astoria Falls, which then gave you the Hiryu call. Because we see Windfox, unfortunately, did not do Steamship Key, so he never was able to get the Astoria Falls. So he just finished up Steamship Key, but unfortunately is probably going to be taking the other path of kind of leaving off Astoria Falls until hopefully not last, but...
Well,
but
we had a hint that was, what was it? It was, let's see, Tycoon Meteor gave the barrier key, the anti-barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? It was Ball Castle. So Ball Castle with Path of Void. So Steamship Key dropped at Ball Castle. I got it super early because I went back with Break to break Odin.
So maybe he didn't get that hint then.
It was in Stargate Castle.
I do see the hint on their tracker. I think he just forgot what key item he got there. And having lost track of that information, now it's just kind of like, okay, what do I follow?
Yeah, because it was that Ball Castle held the Steamship Key. The only thing I got from Steamship Key was the... No, I got Adamantite.
Yeah, and then
the first fight of Adamantite gave me Falls Page, and that was the only thing up there. So I knew Falls Page was something. And then the other chain was, it was Barrier Tower to something to Mirage Radar
to Bahamut.
To Bahamut Spot.
Yeah, that got you the second tablet, the Bahamut, because there was also a hint that said
North Mountain had
tablets.
Second tablet. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think, like what Garlisle said, I think Windfox unfortunately just kind of forgot what he got out of there. That's why I always, like, whenever I run this, I actually have a separate, like, just notepad open, and I literally keep the chains going on there. Like, oh, this is on Path to the Void. Okay, that gave me this, so this must go here. So, you can definitely lose track of what you got where, but Windfox did make good work of Catastrophe there, so because that fight can be also kind of scary. But we noticed you went full ham mode on Ted and Ned, and just went combined guild toss, and we were wondering as soon as we saw the samurai job if that's kind of where we were going to end up going in the very end.
Well, when I saw Samurai and Chemist, I was just like, yeah. I mean, it's the easy strat. And
Yeah.
then I was kind of sad because I got combined for free out of Falls anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I was like, well, I didn't have to do that at the beginning. That kind of sucks.
And especially since this is a race, I can't blame you for doing that as well. I mean, if I was in a race setting, I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, well, we're in a race, so I'm going to use the fullest, cheesiest strat there is. So.
Yeah, because there was that, and then if you didn't do that, you ended up with Magic Lamp Break Sword, which is great too.
Yeah, that also takes care of quite a few things.
I mean, there's a few ways to do it. I mean, it was overall a nice seed. Everything played nice.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Minotauros fight was the only thing, but then I remembered I knew where Ninja was, and I know I'd said something about not liking Ninja. But for that one thing, Ninja's great. If you get a Ninja with an Assassin Dagger, you can throw it at Minotauros and he just dies.
And I think you took the collective, like, tongues out of me and Garlisle when we saw that. We were like, wait, what? You can throw the dagger and it one-shots?
It's the only thing that kills him in one shot.
Yeah. It was one of those things, and we had Artemy in chat. It was just like, yeah, this is the only trick that does that to him. Nothing else will, and we were just speechless. So we had no idea that was something that you could do to take care of him. And that's kind of what we said. We were like, see, people, this is why we talk about, like, there are so many, like, little optimization tricks in this randomizer that you can learn to take down these fights that would normally be kind of a nightmare to deal with.
Oh, in that spot, he's a nightmare because that's like the highest level, one of the highest level spots in the game, and you can't use magic. So he just locks magic. So you can't guard, no mighty guard, no nothing.
Yeah, Windfox actually took care of it using it the old-fashioned way. He had the image ability on everybody, and each turn he just cast image and attacked him down.
Yeah, that's another good way. I didn't buy image when I saw it. I still, there's some stuff I guess I probably don't value high enough.
Mm-hmm. But we were also saying, though, at the very beginning, the Sealed Castle was really strong as well. And finding White 6 in there, and Dimension 6, and Meteo, really and Samurai Crystal, and Freelancer. Like, that's
I mean, you weren't grabbing anything over running shoes. Yeah, the running shoes were the first thing you were grabbing regardless.
Yes. But yeah, there were so many good things that you could find in there. There was the Holy Lance, which granted isn't ideal, but like for the X-Death Castle fights, like yeah, he puts out a little bit of extra damage because he could Freelancer into the Holy Spear. Yeah,
you saw me pull that out, and it was like 1800, I think, a hit.
Yep, which is solid damage for that spot.
Still nothing compared to that dance. I had really bad luck with Sword Dance on Omni, though. That's what took forever.
Yep. But I mean, you also found the Chicken Dagger to make the dance. I think you had a Rainbow Robe on as well to make the dance chance higher. So.
And still had bad luck. I was having pretty good luck the whole seed until that Omni fight, and then it was like I think I missed like 6 or 7 times in a row. I was just like, come on.
Yeah. But I mean, still, you had such a good time there because you made the right call on going to the Astoria Falls, and that's kind of where we're seeing the big difference here.
I think the call that I made that surprised me was the I think it was the Ifrit's fire check, the Ifrit check for bracelet. Mm-hmm. Like I was able to skip a lot of stuff when I found that there because I still had Hear You Valley, I still had what was it? I still had 2 meteors open, as well as a couple other small locations, and it's just like I got to skip all that.
Yep. Garlisle, did you have any questions for Karma while we have him on?
So how did you rig your Dancer luck against Stalker like that? Because I want to know how to do that.
So it dance first, because all 4 of them are real first. So that's the first thing. And then if you can eliminate your options, then you can just skip to your Dancer. Now I got a little unlucky with Mind Blast and stuff. But, I mean, 3 sword dances on Stalker and like 5 tries wasn't bad. I was actually impressed with that one. But it was I had tried to do it twice. I think I died first time. I can't remember.
I mean, I asked that half as a joke, but I just learned apparently whatever you target first on Stalker is always real. So that's good to know too.
Yeah, so the very first action you take, no matter which one you hit, will hit. and then he starts rotating.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, that way you obviously don't want a guild toss there, but you can always get your sword dance. Hopefully get your sword dance off first there. And that it doesn't give you like jitterbug, so then you waste it, but we see
I think Windfox is thinking this is Crayclaw, so I'm trying to shoot this one. This one's the non-shotem one. He's just weak to bolt.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, unfortunately, I'm wondering how long it's going to take before he does take the Astoria Falls route. Like we were saying in the chat, or saying to chat, he still is on a good time for this seed. Realistically, we normally put these seeds at about, like, a 3-hour estimate. So you just being over 2 hours, I mean, it just shows you how much we've been able to push down the times for these
We still haven't
seeds.
sub 2 yet. I've gotten close. This is both weeks that we've ran this on Randomania. I've been around the 205 to 210 mark.
I think
I want to break that sub 2.
I think sub 2 though, you're not gonna. It's gonna be really hard to consistently do though, because like there's so many checks that you're really kind of looking for. Like, I mean, a sub 2 might be your PB for like a while.
Yeah, it has to be this kind of seed, and you have to skip the right things.
Yeah.
Like, I would have needed to one-shot the Liquid Flame and have better Dancer luck the whole scene, essentially. And I could have probably sub 2 just with that.
Yeah, it definitely, like, it is doable, but you would need to kind of find the right stuff at the right spot. Like you said, make the right guesses onto which route to go, and you probably wouldn't. I don't think it's gonna be really hard to get consistently sub 2, I think. But oh, Windfox, please don't make the dive into Twin Tower or to Fork Tower.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
It's gonna happen.
Hey, fan favorite. Everybody likes Fork Tower.
Oh, I guess if you're saying that very sarcastically, I guess, but.
I actually don't mind it, and we actually have some changes that we're talking about doing for the rando, and part of it's just switching up some tags and stuff. And so this is kind of good. Like pyramid right now, there's no reason to do it. Well, we're actually changing up to where the pyramid's actually going to be usable. It's going to be a desert tagged location, and the fight that's currently at Guardian Tree versus Marigine is going to move to the top of it.
Yeah, there's definitely been some, I've heard that Cleartonic, who's kind of the main developer on this randomizer, there's been a lot of changes with some of the tags and kind of, yeah, I mean, all the other shrines have a reason to go to them except for Pyramid Shrine, so it's like, okay, it makes sense that Pyramid Shrine actually has a reason to go there.
Yeah, we're going to be making some changes. I think it's going to come with the 1.0 final update, or not the final update, but the 1.0 update that, it's pretty much going to be like just grouping tags better.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have at least 2 items in each tag group.
Makes sense, because like you said, because right now you got one of the hints that was like, big bridge key holds no keys of value, and it's like, okay, cool, that's 1 check. That's kind of a useless hint for me.
And
meanwhile, there's like, then there's like meteors hold no keys of value, and like, oh well, that's 4 checks done.
Yeah, so in the near future, it's going to be, if you get a bridge hit, it's going to be both the big bridge and the shrine that's on the bridge from World 3.
Okay, that will be a big change then. It will hopefully make things a lot better then.
Yeah, the hints will eliminate more than one location always if you get a no key item hint.
So for anybody who's interested in this randomizer, so that is the link that I just put in there. That is the link that will take you to the site that we actually generate the seeds on. But it also has a link to the wiki that has a lot of great information on it, and a working link, I believe now, because it used to be working, a working link now to our Discord group where you'll find people like Artemy, who is in the chat right now, always answering questions. Karma's always in there, I'm always in there, Garlyle's in there. It's still a very small community right now, so everybody really kind of gets to know each other and really kind of helps out with everything. But we're trying to do these races a little bit more often. It's hard for us to do them every week just because we only have a very few handful of people who actively want to race it right now, and we don't want to show you just basically the same runners every single week. So we're thinking right now, like this bi-weekly that we're doing is a good thing, because next time maybe we get 1 or 2 more people who would want to do it, and it kind of gives us some time to prep and prepare for everything. So
GG drive.
Get things going.
If you're scared about getting into this randomizer, don't be. If you start up a stream and you pretty much are a newer player to the randomizer, usually me or Dry will hop in there almost anytime during the afternoon to evening, and Dry is a fountain of knowledge. I think he's helped most of the newer players grow in this community really rapidly. Like, he knows just about everything in and out about this game.
Oh, I know Artemy will as well.
Yeah.
They've hopped into my channel, both Dry and Artemy have hopped in my channel multiple times now I stream, and basically like handheld me the entire way through. Like, all right, this boss, here's some ways that you can deal with him. This boss, here's how you can deal with them. So, if you have any questions, somebody can tell you probably. If you run into any boss in a bad spot, you're not sure what to do. If you give them like, hey, I've got these abilities, I've got these jobs, and I've got this equipment, somebody somewhere will probably be able to tell you, okay, here's a team that you can put together to either abuse one of the mechanics of that boss, or a way to make it at least a little bit more bearable. We see Windfox taking on Gilgamesh too, taking that down. So hopefully pretty soon we'll see him make the Astoria play, but I'm afraid he's going to get on another rabbit hole after this.
That is the big bridge key, but we'll have to see if Windfox remembers that the bridges are
not who
a
you
bad
see.
idea.
Oof.
Oh,
This might actually end up being good for him. If he knows his, like, hey, it's going to be really hard for me to take down these, maybe I try a different check, because he knows big bridge key holds nothing of value, so I'm really hoping maybe that's kind of what happens here.
I mean, he's got Gilgamesh 2 on one side and Guardians on the other. That is a really bad duo for Fork Tower.
Yeah.
Because of what you're seeing right here. They all four get to go, and they all four hit really hard.
Yes. Yeah, Guardians are not something you want to see. They are freight trains, basically.
He does not have access to Odin yet.
Nope.
Because it's in the void. I mean, he technically could dip in there and get it with 3 tablets, I think. Where was it at? It was in the waterfall area? It was waterfall.
Yeah. I'm really hoping, though, that he kind of
Oh,
makes...
he has Slash? Okay. If he has Slash, that's different. He can just load up both people with Slash. He may end up going back in unless he thinks the Gilgamesh 2 fight's just too long.
Yeah, this is one of those interesting scenarios where it's like, what way is it going to go with it? And unfortunately, this randomizer has a lot of checks to it, so he could be kind of going down multiple kind of dead ends that are not going to lead until he finally decides to take on the Astoria page check.
Oh, he's going back in. You see him equipping. He's planning on going back.
So we'll have to see if maybe he's able to take care of it this time.
Where was Trench Page at if he got Trench Page?
Trench Page was it was the first boss in the Floating Rune. So he does have it, but he just... I don't blame him for not going after the Trench Page.
Well, no, they said it was Dwarven Shop, so...
Oh, right.
It means he went in the trench, but I don't think Trench Page was there because that was Falls Page.
Right.
That was,
yeah. Let's see.
Trench Page had to be one of the checks I didn't do. Apparently he forgot about Falls Page being on path.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to really hurt him here then.
Yeah, fortunately, since the last seed race we had on here, we actually did get a hash system implemented to double check that everybody's on the same seed. So
yes, we did have that that fixed as well. So that makes life just a lot easier because you can go, okay, everybody, check your hashes. Are we on the same page?
Yeah, and there's all these little implements like that are getting implemented. Like for like a week, it was almost daily. We were asking them for stuff, and it was just getting dropped in because it was just changes that helped with the racing of this community.
Yeah, it was really exciting to see, just like once we got Clear Tonic back, just kind of how quickly he really started adding in some of the stuff that we wanted to see to kind of really make it a little bit more race viable. The tablets was a huge thing. Kind of clearing up the hint system now is getting really, really big. that will help make things go a little bit smoother as well. So it's just been amazing seeing all of this get just added in surprisingly quick. So thank you to Clear Tonic for doing all of this for us.
Yeah, I actually can't wait for the new changes that are coming. Like, I want to see them raced, because I think it's going to add a lot of more variety even than we have now.
Yeah.
With new locations you don't normally see, different tags, it's just going to be completely different feeling.
Yep. And there's also always in the future, if we decide we want to switch it up a little bit, maybe we don't do Neo X Death. Maybe we do the portal boss as the boss that you have to beat. We can also do fun stuff like that to change up kind of the flags as well. Because those portal bosses are on par with Neo X Death from what I've seen. They're not another easy cakewalk. They're not like an easy cakewalk of a boss.
Yeah. Plus, there's other options too in the randomizer. Like, if we wanted to do slightly longer races, there is the option to lock off World 2 as well, so that you have to find a key item in order to do it. Or conversely, we can have our players have access to every world at the start of the game.
Yep. Yeah, definitely some things you can make there to make the race longer. There's other flags that we have not started using as well. I mean, we can always do a four job mode race. There is one thing that we had talked about. I'd have to see if Clear was going to be able to do it. Yeah, so if you ever do want a shorter race that we did as well, we did a race that was called Castle Percent, where basically it was racing. You started off with World 1 locked, but you were just racing to get to the X-Death fight castle and getting that, and that was kind of one of the categories we looked at, and those races are a lot quicker. Those were normally down to an hour and a half, maybe even sub-hour and a half, just because the only key items you were looking for was the Adamantite that would take you to World 2, and you were looking for the bracelet and the anti-barrier. You really had no need for tablets, except for maybe to go into Sealed Castle. We have the option where we could do a 4-job mode race for this. That's another thing I know there's been talks of.
We've also heard talks of a possible bingo, too.
Yeah, a possible bingo. I don't know if Clear Tonic was going to be able to get it to do it and get it added in, but there was a possibility of basically a flag where basically you started off with every single job. And what we had thought about doing with that is then you could do like a kind of the way similar to the way Final Fantasy 1 randomizer does their job draft. You do a job draft and you basically say, okay, well, I'm going to ban out the samurai job. And then your other opponent goes, okay, well, I am banning out the chemist job. And then you each pick 2 jobs that you want to have available on your party. And then you do another round of bans. So there's a lot of fun things you can do with the job system. Looks like he made it through Gilgamesh. Let's see if he's going to be able to take down the crystals now. He does have Slash, I think we said.
Yeah, with Slash and actual shields on the knights to help mitigate the physical damage, much better prepared for this.
Yep. Now you just got to get the Slash to land, basically.
Yeah, it's not a great percentage, but it's not bad either. It's definitely not Odin.
Gets one of them.
1 of 4 is decent. 2 of 4 is decent, so that means less damage incoming.
Yeah. He's getting pretty good lucky with these block chances, so... Okay, go again for it.
Yeah. The biggest thing with the Guardians is that, they're fast and dangerous as is, just by default. But if they're left at low HP, they're going to start breaking out just high power AoE spells. So instant killing them like this avoids the worst they can do.
Oh yeah. This is one of those where you run into this fight and you have Odin and you're just like, oh, I dodged a bullet with this.
Oh.
Nothing comes out of this, so at least we know that this is not going to lead him further down a rabbit hole, though. So now he's going to have to go back and look. I've got the pyramid page. Okay, I know that's nothing. So maybe this now puts him on the path for... going to Astoria Falls. Fingers crossed that's where he goes, but I don't think it looks like he is. Where is he heading off to?
Oh, did he skip a fight in World 2 in X-Death?
Oh, he's going back to the carbuncle where you ran into...
Necrophobia, yeah.
Necrophobia.
I skipped that one too.
Yeah, and see, yeah, it was... I don't think... Neither one of you did it. Just because it's not somebody you want to see there. But it looks like he's going to go back thinking. So He really does not want to go to Astoria Falls.
It's a long check if you're not sure it's there.
Yeah, and the boss fight at the end of it is one of the highest HP spots. So if you try that and run into something that's like really difficult there, that's one of the worst places for it.
Did he end up finding Moogle suit?
Yes.
Okay. I can't remember if he did or not.
And if you found that, that means it was at one of the little options I skipped. Probably had X Fight or X Magic.
X Magic. What else was there?
I think a Ragnarok was there.
Yes, there was a Ragnarok.
Oh, he had
there.
Brave Blade. He has Brave Blade too.
Bahamut was there. Jetters is saying in chat. What else? There's something else that was good that was in there.
That's gonna with the changes that are coming. I think that's now gonna be the most valuable spot to loot.
The Moogle suit.
Just because with the changes that's coming to Pyramid to make it a boss fight at the end, the tiering of the items in there is actually going to be lowered a little bit. So it's going to push a lot of the items that were in there out. And that means the highest tiered item locations left is going to be Moogle Village,
Mirage Radar,
the Void, Mirage, and Kuza.
Yeah, unfortunately, like Armin was saying, it is having to go back. You don't ever want to have to go back in this castle. You really want this to be like one pass and get it done.
So what else he's thinking he can find? Like, what other items is he missing?
Just his third tablet. Because he's forgotten, like, the string of items that was hinted at, because that item was picked up so early. I think he's thinking that he doesn't actually have the information to know where that last tablet is.
Well, no, I'm asking what key item is he missing that he thinks he can get?
I would have to...
I didn't do this. I beat both the other bosses. No, Dry was asking in chat, sorry guys.
Oh, yeah.
I skipped Carbuncle, and that's the only thing I skipped. I did the other two, because they were easy.
Yeah. So... this might be one of those things where it's just like, this is also the reason why I always tell people, I always have a notepad open, either a physical one or a notepad on my computer, and I type out like all of my paths to the void hints so I know where they are and like write down the chains they do. I always write down like, where did I find turtle shells? Where did I find high potions? Where did I find this and that? Because there's so many things to kind of keep track of in this game that the tracker, the emo tracker, does a good job of like showing you like what checks you've done, but it doesn't have a way for you to write down like what hints you've gotten. So that's why I always encourage people to have something that you can write down your hints on, because they're going to save you a lot of time.
Yeah, because at this point, I guess he's just hoping for the tablet, because looking at it, if he has Moogle Suit, he did Fork Tower, which means he found Elder Branch and did Muaw Forest. He had Trench Page because he's been to the Dwarven shop.
Yep.
So I don't think there's a key item he can find.
No. I think he just is trying to avoid doing Astoria Falls, and it just so happens that, unfortunately, this time, that is the way you had to go.
Could be Jetters.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's one of those times you're seeing somebody else finish that fast ahead of you. Like, you go, well, they must have found something really early on in the race that I didn't. And you try to think back to where you probably were around that time that could cause it to change that much. Yeah, actually, I'll switch the music over to Windfox's music. One sec, everybody.
You guys wanted a certain music. I could have ran around into some area in the game.
There we go. We'll switch it over to Windfox's music. You just gotta make pretty quick work of people like Dry and take on the portal boss.
I'm not as good at Dry. Come on now.
Those portal bosses aren't friendly. You should make pretty quick work of this Necrophobia, though. I mean, he's pretty high level at this point. not getting good luck with getting those hits, though.
Yeah, being blinded really sucks here.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that he was blinded.
Yeah, Necrophobia always does flash when he transitions into solo mode.
Oh, I missed that. And of course the sprites, since they're floating and everything, don't have the glasses. Yeah, so he's gonna get, okay, so he gets Necrophobia down. He's gonna get nothing. I really hope, I don't think he can get, like you said, Karma, I don't think he can get anything out of this. So then he's gonna have to look back at his tracker and go, okay, I guess this is what it is.
Yeah, because I'm assuming he has every key item at this point. Because he's apparently got the ones I'm missing.
The only thing I see missing on his tracker is the Hear You call.
Which, so then he knows, okay, the only check I haven't done is this. Because he just gets a Mistral Spear out of this.
And the dreaded bone mill. Hopefully he sells that pretty quick.
Yeah. So he's going back, he's gonna get the pot. Let's see if he makes his way over to Astoria Falls.
Right direction.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, bone mail's like the wall ring in that both of them have the capacity to actually be extremely effective, but also the equipment optimized whenever you change up your stuff really loves putting those on characters, and you don't want them to accidentally end up on your characters when you're not expecting them to be.
Jitters, you leave the Thornlet alone, because the Thornlet reduces your MP, which allows the Barbarian to do underflow with the Rune Axe. So there is niche uses for the Thornlet.
My biggest issue with the bone mill is just that I've accidentally healed and not been able to revive my characters because I've killed them by healing them.
Yeah. I always hate it because since it's one of those cursed items, it always likes, and it has a high defense, it likes to auto-equip it, and you didn't realize it auto-equipped. And you're just like, of course it did. Same with like wall rings, like the optimizer loves to put wall rings on. It's like, no, I don't want them.
I also could have had better luck in this fight too.
Yeah, you did kind of have a rough time on this one.
My luck just didn't go well with break spells and show spells.
Someone in chat did find it funny that he was like, so the gargoyles, who are stone creatures, can be petrified to stone.
Oh yeah.
Yep, makes perfect sense.
There's some statues. There's a monster in a box in the pyramid that you can actually throw softs at these like ghost statues, and they kill themselves.
Yep, so many great things in this game for how they died. Like we were talking about the Apocalypse Exploder.
I was actually hoping to run into Apocalypse when I learned Exploder. I was like, if I'd ran into him, my Mystic Knight was just gonna bite the dust for the team.
Yeah. It's one of those things that's fun to show off in a race too. You're like, look at this. Look at this amazing AI. Look what it'll do.
He needs to get lucky right here.
Yeah, he
or
really
just
does.
kill it.
Those aren't great rolls on it either. Oh,
So,
go ahead and explain that.
So Apocalypse is a blue mage. So if you use blue magic on him, he likes to learn it and use it immediately. So if you know what Exploder does, it use suicide to blow up something. So he suicides himself to blow up another character.
Yep. He takes care of himself, basically. Finds the level 5 Doom magic, so he's not... Hopefully, he's going to get this Astoria's Falls page, and he's going to be on the right track. And I'll go, okay, this is the way I need to go. Here's the Hear You call, which that's the only key item I guess he's missing at this point, so... Still, for being, for 100%ing the game, basically, still a pretty good time.
Yeah, if you can 100% the game in about a 3-hour period, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Miri, you'll have to try it out sometime. So literally just walk into the Apocalypse site, cast Exploder, and just watch what happens. You'll only have 2 characters probably finish the fight, but Still, the win's a win.
Especially if you run into him at a bad spot where you're like, man, it's going to be... Because he can be quite nasty if you just let him do his thing. So sometimes it's better to just have two characters not gain experience, but be done with the fight than try to do it the normal way. Yeah, you can technically teach him every spell, can't you?
There's 7 or 8 spells that you can teach him. There's specifically spells he will not cast otherwise, and then he'll like cast them 3 or 4 times before just returning to normal.
He can learn 1,000 needles. Okay, that's not something I want him to learn. I don't need him casting 1,000 needles 4 times before he decides to go back to normal. Now, Windfox with the level, because he's going to be a pretty good bit higher level than you were, Karma, when you're going at it, so he should be pretty good going into this fight.
Oh yeah, like 40's a really high level.
Yeah, realistically, by the time you're going into, I saw on yours, I mean, now you took it down, your samurais were 35 when they took it down. Now, granted, you could probably do with just about any job at 35, but samurai definitely makes quick work of that, and I wouldn't be surprised if Windfox doesn't do the same thing.
Yeah, I think the lowest I've taken him down is probably low 30s.
Yeah.
Just because naturally by doing the seed, you get mid 20s by the time you hit Exodus Castle, and then when you clear Exodus Castle, you're around 30.
Yep.
Yeah, now that Windfox has blue magic, like they've got the added survivability too with Mighty Guard.
Apocalypse in Japanese. It was the English word apocalypse in Japanese, so we just used that. So, like, they actually spelled out apocalypse in hiragana. No, katakana. In katakana, just so like apocalypse. That's interesting.
Okay, I think he's thinking the big plant can be broken. It's the little plants can be broken. The big one's doomable.
Apocalypse. I always have. Chan's really testing my Japanese here.
Yeah, it literally says apocalypse.
Yeah.
With a U at the end, like they always do.
Oh yeah, ending in su. Apocalypse. Oh yeah. I'm not good with the lower case like yos. Like it always throws me off. Oh yeah, he's gonna make quick work of this Hiryu plant.
Yeah, if he has a Doom, then it just auto dies. I was hoping he knew that, like X Zone or Doom.
Yeah. Yeah, because he doesn't have the Odin to quick kill it. Slash can also quick kill it, though. So I don't know if he knows. I don't think he knows that Slash will quick kill it. Because I've had to rely on that before. It's just using Slash to kill it down.
He's getting so close to Doom that I'm just like, cast it. Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, he also has Leviathan. See, I didn't find Leviathan either.
Yeah, Hiryu Plant has so many different ways you can kill it. Like, Jetters is saying he can also Deathclaw it if he has it.
I think Deathclaw was in... I want to say Deathclaw was in Mirage.
It may be, but yeah, there's so many different ways that you can freaking kill the Hiryu Plant, it's not funny.
Yeah, it's vulnerable to instant death, and it doesn't have anything, like it's not set to heavy.
Yeah.
So like any form of like percentile damage will work on it.
Yeah, that's how I killed it dry. I X-zoned him. Thanks, Artemis. Just have a good night.
Yep. Unfortunately, as I say, it's getting pretty late for me. I'm going to try to stream this for as long as possible, everybody. But I also have to be up for work in the morning, so unfortunately, if Windfox runs into too much trouble, I might have to take the stream down. I will post Windfox's stream link in here, so if you want to see him finish off the race. We did start a little bit later normally. Normally we start an hour later, but unfortunately our two runners kind of have time restrictions for us, so we had to push it a little bit later today. But I'll try to keep going as long as I can physically keep my eyes open. I could raid a stream. I don't know if I have the capability to raid this stream, though. That's the only problem. But I'll try to give him another like 10-15 minutes. At that point, I think I'm going to have, unfortunately, we'll have to send everybody over to his stream to finish out the end of the race, though. Because we'll be at about that 3-hour mark.
Yeah, it's going to take him a little longer than that to finish up the seed. The bosses aren't the fastest, especially Omni and Leviathan.
Yeah, those will definitely take some time. But we'll push it out. We'll probably do another 10 minutes, get to the 3-hour mark. And then I will post Windfox's seed, or Windfox's channel in this stream. So if you'd like to see the conclusion of his race, you can go over and join him over there. And I also think we are going to be taking a look to see, like, is Thursday nights the best night for everybody? So if you're interested in seeing more of this randomizer being run, we are going to try to do, like I said, we're going to probably start off for a while, maybe doing it bi-weekly, just because we don't have the largest community, and as much as everybody likes seeing it, I know sometimes it'd be like seeing the same runners every single time. Can kind of lose that excitement, so we're going to try to save a little bi-weekly until we get some more runners where we can find a stable enough to kind of constantly have people doing it every week. So, but you are going to see more Final Fantasy V Career Day in the future, that is for sure. Making quick work of that fight. I'm surprised he even cast a Meteor on that. Should make quick work of the Soul Cannon as well. Like we've said, he's at such a high level at this point that it's can be fairly. There's nothing really much you can run into outside of the void that's going to do him too much damage.
No, he's going to have a pretty smooth time all the way up to probably Omni, and then it's going to kind of slow him down a little bit. It's not going to be a hard fight. It's a free fight.
Yeah.
It just takes a little bit.
Yeah, he's certainly got the tools at this point. It's just a matter of applying them.
Yeah, Jetters is bringing up a good point too. Like, Karma, you probably shaved off a few minutes by not casting Meteor every single time too, because Meteor is not the quickest cast animation, and when you're doing it basically 4 casts every single time, especially with such a high RNG spell. So there's his 3rd tablet.
Yeah, I think I saved time by doing Dancer strats, it looks like.
Yeah, Sword Dancer, yeah, it's a much quicker animation, and the damage, even if, like, is more consistent, because even if you cast it twice or 3 times and you get one of them that's a Sword Dance, it's going to be much quicker than probably the damage you got out of, like, 3 people casting Meteor and saved a good bit of time. Yeah, I'm worried about how he is going to be able to take on X-Death if he's going to constantly rely on these Meteor strats, because X-Death really...
He won't. If he has Samurai, he has Combined, he knows that strat.
Yeah, and even if he doesn't opt to like combine up his levels and stuff, he does have at this point. He's got Summoner with like Bahamut and stuff. There's plenty of tools available to him that are well suited for the.
So he's going to pick up the Freelancer job, just like you did, Karma. I'm sure he's going to run over and get that. He's picking up the Rune Axe.
He has all tablets. He's just going to loot the entire place.
Oh, okay.
See, that's the one I should have got. That I didn't.
Which one was that?
The Judgment Staff.
Oh,
So, his Omni fight's now going to go quicker, because what he can do is he can Mute Blade, and after he Mute Blades, he can use the Staff of Judgment as an item, which casts a spell on Omni.
Oh, it takes his armor down and everything?
Yeah, it takes the armor and the shell off, so he'll do double damage. He'll do damage twice as fast as that was.
picking up that Genji helm as well.
Yeah, he can just cast a spell. See, I didn't rely on white too much this whole seed.
Yep, he's just gonna finish getting all of his tablets in. It looks like he already must have picked up Samurai Job then.
Yeah, this was his third trip here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I made 2 trips and that was it.
Alright, now Windfox is off to the void. Maybe not. Stopping to do some shopping.
Yeah, you kind of want to go in with everything.
Oh no, he's shopping
ready if
to
you can.
sell. He
Yeah,
needs money.
he's doing his guild toss setup. The everything must go because I need as much money to throw at X Death as possible.
Yeah, so you need what is it? You need 140,000 for phase 2. Because I believe the calculation was level times 50 times the number of targets.
Yep.
So for the first phase, it's like, what, 4,000 to throw 5 times? So that's 20,000 additional, and so 160 minimum. And that's if you don't have Mimic. Like, he should just stop selling at this point. He's got plenty.
I mean, he might opt to also use Guild Toss on some
And he has
bosses
sold the
beforehand.
Judgment Staff.
Yeah. I think Perobros was in the Void as well, which would be a very good place to use Guild Toss.
Yeah, I wish that the Odin was right before that.
Yeah, because we also saw you missed, I think, one of the mutes on the Perboros, because you had that one that cast life too.
It wasn't a miss. It was the one I had targeted that was already muted exploded.
Oh.
And so he danced and sword danced on the one that hadn't muted yet.
Oh, the
The
luck
last
on that. What would it cost to guild toss the entire gauntlet on average? Oh god.
Well, I just added up it with combine and everything. It's 160,000 just to beat X Death, both tree and end. Yeah, dry. I took a little longer. I was mute sorting them all because I didn't have Guild Toss equipped at that point, and missed one. You'll have to go back and watch it. It's actually kind of funny. That probably cost me like 3 minutes right there.
Yeah, it definitely did eat some time up there because we were just like, oh, that was tragic.
Because I only had 2 left and one was muted dry, and I selected dance on the one that was muted, and before I hit him, he exploded. So then I targeted the other one, and sword dance went off. I mean, you probably need north of 400k to make it through this whole place with just Guild Toss.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
And that's if all the enemies are Guild Tossable, because some have such a high defense that Guild Toss is lower.
It's not cost effective. Yeah, I mean, he might be able to guild toss the Perboros fight. I don't think he'll guild toss.
I don't think he's going to, because I don't think he has it equipped, does he?
I hope so.
I think he's going to run into the same thing I did, and he won't have Odin either, so he's got to have Magic Sword. Because it takes too long to save and quit and run back.
Yep.
He might not even get Odin, because Odin was either right side castle at the beginning, or it was the waterfall chest. I can't even remember.
Yeah, I forget where it was too. But I don't think he had. It definitely was fairly
That
close.
was nice to find right there. The Summoner Crystal.
Yep, that one, we talked about that. Yeah, that was a big pickup. With just how powerful Summoner is in this randomizer. Alright, let's see how he's going to take care of Perboros. Is he just going to meteor? I was like, he cannot just expect to meteor this down.
No. Does he have 1 or 2 magic swords?
Not sure.
He has
Maybe
1.
just going to try to Bahamut it down then? Or in a nice...
Well, he's just AoE it. Yeah, he's just going to AoE him. If he kills them all at the same time, that's fine. So I actually might kill them all at the same time right here.
It could. Yep.
Yep.
Hey, he made a lot quicker fight out of it.
Yeah, see, I didn't have Bahamut or Leviathan either.
Yeah, no, I think he made up some time there, but
Yeah, he'll make up some time there, and he'll probably make up some time on Omni.
yeah.
Let's see if he goes. He's going for the waterfall chest, so he's gonna get Odin. He's gonna be happy he got that. Now, here's where I debated on just skipping everything else. I ended up getting the first 2 chests in Castle, but the only thing I was thinking I could find was a magic lamp, which I didn't need, or a second pair of running shoes, which would have been the other nicety.
Yeah. More running shoes is never a bad thing.
Yeah, usually if you can't buy them, because sometimes you can buy them for 30,000 gil inside Mirage or Dwarven, the Dwarven shop, then it is,
Let's see if he's just gonna Odin or he's
Then-
gonna zone it away.
there's usually 2 in the seed.
I'm surprised he did not just Odin away the rest of the dogs. But I guess if he knows,
Well, yeah, it
dogs
doesn't
escape
matter.
too.
Yeah, the dogs immediately escape on the sergeant's death.
So making quick work of that. So now he is on to the Omniscient fight.
I am surprised he didn't Odin though, because Odin is a quicker animation overall.
Yeah, that's what I thought so too. I was like, I'm surprised he didn't do that, especially because he just picked it up.
Now does he just skip everything else? No, he's gonna check.
So I think probably what we'll do, since we are at the 3-hour mark, I'm gonna hold on until he gets his first attempt on X-Death. If he knocks it down first attempt, awesome. If not, then we'll probably send it over to his stream for a second follow-up attempt.
He'll knock it down first try. With combine, a pair of running shoes, and Gil Toss, it's not a hard fight. Even easier is if he has Mimic Crystal, because I've never found that, but he's apparently been almost everywhere, so he may have
I don't
it.
think he found Mimic either.
Alright, then it's probably in Pyramid.
Most likely. Yeah, because it was not in we will suit.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen the mime ability somewhere, but not the actual job crystal.
Yeah, I got the Mimic ability. It was in a guard early chest, I think.
Should make quick work of this Ifrit fight. Can you X-Zone Ifrit? No, you have to break blade it. Or
You don't
shift
have
it.
to break blade. It's so the way this game works, and this is how Dry will explain it to you too. The bosses have a set magic evade, and the later they are, the higher their magic evade.
There he gets the break off.
Like the early game bosses don't have a lot, so I don't think they really scale a lot. But I think you can still miss.
Yeah, there is.
But
Magic evade is one check that happens first, where it's just like if a boss has 30% magic evade, there's a 30% chance it fails. And then there's the actual success rate of the spell, which adjusts up or down based on the difference between your level and the target's.
yeah, so like a good one is Odin. Odin is I think 80% at default on his normal location. So if he's in the void, I think he's actually got like a 90 to 100% magic evade.
Yeah.
I didn't actually check this check.
White 5. Not too much useful because you already got white 6. So next up should be, what was that?
It's Omni next.
The Omni, okay.
It's Omni into Leviathan. These were the 2 nasty fights. I was hoping for something easy after this, and I kind of got scared when I saw Leviathan.
We are gonna see a lot of Meteos here.
I mean, if he has Magic Sword, he'll just mute it.
Yeah.
It's a free fight after that.
It is a free fight. It still takes a while though. Like you said, he got rid of the Judgment Staff, so he can't dispel. I don't know if
I
he
agree,
can dispel.
Judders. I definitely agree. My Dancer Bolt 3 luck was pretty good too. Oh, I didn't know this was weak to wind. That's actually good to know. And if you didn't know that, Sildra is wind.
Yep.
That's
Which
one
is
of those
weird,
odd
'cause
ones.
because the ability is named Lightning Bolt, but
Yeah.
No, he's weak to poison as well. Didn't know that either.
And it's named after a dragon that lived in the water, so you know what in Final Fantasy V really makes sense. I'm still trying to figure out, so was Sildra and Esper the entire time that she was friends with it? Or...
Oh no! He needed to do Dispel on White.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna take it longer.
Use Arrow 3 on him? I'll do solid damage.
Yeah, it done more damage than the Bolt 3.
Yeah.
I'm just really surprised that he's not hasn't done Dispel yet to double his damage essentially.
Might have forgotten about it.
Maybe he might forget. He might have forgot that the dude starts with the.
Yeah.
This guy starts with Big Guard essentially.
Yeah, there's no like visual indicator on him, or he doesn't cast anything to start it up, so
Yeah.
it's easy to forget.
Now he will cast it on himself later on, but yeah, but just keeping him muted is the biggest part of this fight. There he goes. There's I saw him cast the spell.
There we
Yeah,
go.
which-
Now the fight will go a lot quicker.
Oh yeah. Let's see how much damage that Arrow 3 does. Yeah, almost 4k now.
From 2k to 4.
Yep.
And these hits are probably gonna do about 3 each. Yeah. And then Meteo is gonna start clocking in its normal damage. Oh, except he can't cast Meteo. Ran out of magic. So he's probably gonna go back to the save point after this, especially being low on magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, already done.
Can't blame him for running back and do this. I would do the same. You have no idea what's at the next fight. You don't want to go down with no MP, especially when you're as magic heavy as he is.
Yeah, I risked the next fight, and I got scared because my Galuf ran out of magic really quickly. Oh, he does not have a lot of tents.
Still has enough to heal up after all the remaining bosses.
Yeah, he's only got what, one remaining boss before X-Death left.
Well, to be fair, Jetters, there was a lot of bosses I could insta-kill. Leviathan just wasn't one of them. Yeah, I went straight from the Omni fight up the stairs dry.
Yeah, I haven't checked.
I was
the time
hoping
to see how
for
it
an
gets too
insta-kill.
far. Alright, let's see. I think he does have Bolt 3.
Yeah, it's been used quite a bit, so that'll help.
So he's got
So
a
what-
big guard to put up, that'll help.
What boss did he not see? I'm now curious what boss is currently sitting in the last spot in the game.
The piggies.
Okay, so triplets haven't been seen?
Nope, we have not seen triplets.
Nice. It's the fight you're actually happy to dodge most days.
Yeah, it's between like that, stalkers, and crystals. You're like, yeah, I'm just kind of glad I didn't have to deal with them.
And Sandworm.
Yeah,
Sandworm's not even hard, he's just annoying.
it just takes so much time, especially if you get it at a late spot where he switches a lot. We're like, come on. That's the one
But to
time
be
you're
fair,
having
his
it
whirlwind-
too.
His whirlwind still only does 60 damage.
Yeah,
No, he found Moogle Suit, which I didn't try. Apparently Ragnarok was at least there. He also went to the trench, which had Slash. I don't know where he got Brave Blade from. Might have been either Moogle Village or Dwarven.
oh yeah, I forget where it was. I
It
remember
was
being
somewhere
mentioned.
early.
Yeah,
That means it was one of the... Did you skip a meteor drop?
yeah, it was somewhere. I keep forgetting where it was. But I do remember Garlow bringing it up. He was like, oh, there's Brave Blade.
All meteors? Okay. Sandworm bait?
Yeah, that's another bad tidal wave. Needs to get him down soon, or he's gonna have to get everybody up.
I mean, he should just summon... Well, he could just summon Phoenix here.
Yep. It's one of those things, though, if you don't remember that you have it, you're like, oh, that's right.
Did you do Hear You Valley Dry? Did you go back and beat Twintania?
There's another...
Okay, I didn't either, so it's probably there.
Fox, you're gonna have to do something soon, man. You're just barely treading water.
Yeah, I would hit him with the 9,999.
Yeah. You should be pretty close to dead at this point.
He's waiting on White to cure 3. Yeah.
Alright, it should be good now. He didn't put up Golem either, although I know he found Golem too.
I think he put up Golem at the beginning.
Did he?
Yeah, I think it was the first thing he did with Lena. Okay, there it is.
Alright, so I expect he's gonna run back save. Probably put up Chemist, Samurai to take this down.
For science. Let's see if it was at the Twintania spot.
But then I'm gonna close down your stream so people don't wonder what.
I'm just for sciencing.
Alright, let's wish Windfox best of luck on getting this Xdeath fight. He should be pretty good. He's got the combined, he's got the guild toss, so he should probably have a pretty quick fight, about the same way Karma did, so.
Yeah, I think it was, what, like 2 minutes?
Yeah, it was fairly quick.
He did kill one of my guys like he normally does, but he did it with physical attacks this time. He did a lot of physical attacks at the beginning.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of time, though, where he just kind of sat there and he let you set up same power, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's what he normally does.
Yeah. Ted likes to just stare at you. There's the magic lamp, so he's got that too, but again, he probably won't even use that. He'll probably do guild toss combined. Found one of my favorite earth hammers. He's checking every chest, and he's gonna get a monster in a box. I don't know why he's checking this much.
Well,
Yeah.
good thing this is 100% run rate. Oh, and he just... Okay. Apparently he
Yeah,
doesn't know it's 100% run rate.
He just kind of forgot critical information.
Yeah, I don't know why. I was just like, he knows that his chest is trapped, right?
So if you ever accidentally enter the Shinryu fight, it is 100% runnable.
Yeah. I just don't know why he, like, it's like... I mean, I get it too. Like, I've accidentally checked that chest too, forgetting that. Alright, that's right. This is the Shinryu chest. Alright. Second verse, same as the first.
Except let's hope he skips the...
Yeah.
So he skips it this time.
I don't even know why he's picking up, like, the magic lamp or any of this chest. Like, you know there wasn't anything like that great.
I mean, I did too.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
even know what I was looking for. I think, like I said, I think I was looking, essentially it was the second set of running shoes. And the upside for a second set of running shoes is really high.
It's a sage staff back there. Alright, go jump on the tree and let's get this fight started. Oh, what? Blue magic, okay. Is he not doing samurai strats? Okay.
Here. I
He's
think he's
have
gonna
one.
keep one on, yeah. It's more of a safety net. You can big
Yeah.
guard plus summon golem.
He's got big guard, he'll have white wind, he'll have other stuff, so. It'll make his fight a little bit slower because he won't have the fourth person doing guild toss. But yeah, like you said, it's a little bit more stable. I like how he just like jumps on the tree. He's like, "This is it, accept." Ah! And, like jumps on the tree.
Sometimes you just really want to punch a tree.
But that's just it. He doesn't punch the tree. Like literally, if you watch, he like jumps and like tackles this tree, which has got to be painful to your bad for your health to be tackling trees. So help us remember, for those of us who don't have all the mixes mastered, what does Life Shield do?
So essentially, it makes you immune to White Hole.
Okay.
So that's why you see us set it up first.
Yeah.
It makes it so it's you either have that or 4 Aegis Shields, and White Hole just does nothing at that point.
Yeah. So now we're gonna see him get Samson's power. Yep. So he's doing your strat. He's doing the same strat you did.
Yeah, the other option you have is if you have any Dragon Fangs, you can speed up the process because a Dragon Fang with a potion, it's called Dragon Power, and instead of 10 levels, you get 20.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just ups here, but finding Dragon Fangs is a little bit harder normally.
You sometimes end up with like somewhere around the range of like 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the potion that is Samson's power? It's an antidote and a what?
It's a Revivify and an Antidote.
Revivify antidote.
Or Holy Water if you're used to most localizations. Revivify is just the Holy Water, the zombie cure.
Yeah. It's amazing that 2 fairly common items, like a Revivify and an Antidote, give such a good spell. Now we see why Chemist is just such an amazing job.
Well, the Chemist also has other things. So, like, anything that's weak against Doom, Chemist can also kill. It's a Dark Matter.
How many Dark Matters are you finding?
Well, you can actually farm them.
Yeah, but that takes a good bit of time, though. And he's putting up regen as well, man. Windfox is going, like, full on in this.
It's a Phoenix down and a Dark Matter.
Phoenix down in Dark Matter, okay.
It's a Death Potion.
Okay, so how many Samson's powers is he gonna do?
But you'd actually be surprised. There's a basic enemy you can farm in the main game, or in the rando, by turning on encounters south of Crescent Town, I believe, on a couple of the islands, and it just drops 100% Dark Matters.
Is that like that ghost thing?
I don't know exactly what enemies because I haven't actually had to farm them yet.
Man, Windfox is going full setup here, man. He is putting slows up. He is.
You can also common still them in the void according to Dry. But the void's a little late for most of the things you want to kill.
Yeah. Alright, come on, Windfox. Start guild tossing. There we go.
It takes 5 guild tosses to get past this first part.
Thankfully, he's doing this strat, because I don't think I could stay awake for a full X-Death strat. Or for like a non-guild toss X-Death strat at the time it is.
The way we are, the equipment we had and the way we are, I mean, it wouldn't have been that bad. So you would have magic clamped to get rid of the bottom left section. You would have cast Break Blade to get rid of the bottom right. And then you just even damage split the top 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus they have like Mind Blast and stuff to keep
Yeah.
Grand Cross from a potential party.
It still would not be as fast as guild toss, though.
No. That is true. Yeah, for races, this is definitely the preferred strat, I think.
I would agree. Because normally you're going to have enough gold that you can and items that you can sell off to be able to farm to really spam the guild toss. singing up levels? Yeah, if you have the hero song, you could probably sing up your level pretty quickly. Especially with like Haste 2 going. Alright, let's see. Windfox make quick work of Neo X Death, or Ned, as we like to call him.
Take 7 tosses.
So count him down. There was 1. So he's gonna bump it up with that, so maybe even less than 7. Maybe not. There's 2, 3, 4. Let's get a magic lamp for a for a Leviathan. Okay. That's 5. There's a Meteo.
The one that almost wrecked me.
Oh yeah, he got it much lighter, like nothing
Fortunately,
over 1,000.
with all that HP, Meteo isn't going to cause a wipe by itself.
Oh yeah.
It got close with me. I think it killed 2.
And there it is. GG's to Windfox. Yeah, Big Guard did help him out up there. So Windfox with an official race time of 3:20:24. So definitely still I mean, he did 100% basically the race, so still a very solid time on his part. So please give Windfox your GGs and love. I say its official time was 3:20:24. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna have a lot of time to get an interview with Windfox. I do need to get out of here. But thank you everybody so much for watching. This has been Final Fantasy V Career Day Open World Randomizer. We're always Final Fantasy V Career Day Open World Randomizer. We're always happy to have more people come into the randomizer. Sorry about that. But yeah, we're always happy to have more people come in and join us in the randomizer. We have a lot of fun. We're trying to do these races a lot more often as well, so if you'd like to just see, I'm going to post the link for the Final Fantasy V Career Day. That has a link to the wiki. It also has in the wiki a link to the Discord. Garlisle, any last things you want to say before we get out of here?
No, just thanks everybody for coming, hanging out, and congrats to our winner, and congrats to Windfox for sticking it out even though that seed turned into hell.
Yeah, he 100%ed the seed, and that takes, like, trust me, if it had been me, I would have been like, all right, I'm done. It's late. I'm getting out of here. We do have Windfox in here. Windfox, GG. Thanks for the run. Before we get out of here, did you have anything you wanted to say about the seed really quickly?
GG. If anyone who hasn't seen the whole game, that is 100% randomizer.
You definitely did the 100% randomizer run that we all deserved.
Yep. Sorry it took an hour longer than everybody else, but...
It happens. In a randomizer like this, if you just happen to go down the wrong path, you can definitely get stuck there. One of the things we were wondering, because Karma said that there was a hint that said that Steamship Key was on the path of the Void.
Well, it wasn't Steamship Key, it was Ball Castle.
Ball Castle. So we were wondering if maybe you'd lost that hint somewhere, and that's kind of where the rabbit hole happened, or...
No, I keep notes of all my hints and stuff. I just lost track of the chain of items partway through.
Oh, okay.
And that's when I was just like, well, what was this item? Where did I screw up? And then, yeah, ended up locating that last tablet.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when it happens, but like we said, you stuck through it, so you showed everybody what 100% of this randomizer seed, and even for 100%ing the game, it's under 3.5 hours. So
yeah.
But thank you again, like I said, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. We appreciate you watching. We're gonna try within probably not next week, but the following week do another race, just so we can see if we can get more people to race or who we can all get to race at that time. But again, thank you so much for coming out. Starting tomorrow, I believe, is when it starts up. The Tournaments of Hope that is being run by Randomania should be starting up, which is a bunch of mini tournaments for a bunch of different randomizers. The donations are going to be going up for that, going to a good charity. I unfortunately don't know the charity off the top of my head. I should have looked. But please tune into that. Randomania has been so great for hosting so many different tournaments that we like to show off and so many different randomizers that we like to show off. So please tune into that. Thank you so much for everybody coming out, and have a great night.